over Dallas, and a huge matchup between the Longview Lobos and the Lancaster Tigers.
Well, it's kind of deja vu all over again, as Yogi would say. These two teams met here a year ago in this round, and I thought earlier in the week we should probably just pop the tape into VCR and watch it all over again, but they tell me we don't use those anymore, so I guess we're going to have to play it out.
We'll definitely have to, and if you're a Lobo fan, you'd love to have a repeat of last year, a 56-20 win in this very facility a year ago, in this very round a year ago, and it launched the Lobos into round 3. And got to meet a Denton Ryan team that you don't necessarily always want to see. But tell you what, if you're fortunate tonight, you may see him again next Friday.
I think both these teams would love the opportunity to see Denton Ryan again, and that's what they'll be playing for tonight, most likely, unless they Denton Ryan gets shocked tonight or this weekend. But for the Lobos, who opened with Denton Ryan in week 1, you kind of had a feeling after last week this team is beginning to trend up. And really the last 2 weeks, they had a nice win over Tyler High. A week ago, I thought they had a really nice victory, and a lot of it starts with the change of quarterback that seems to have helped this offense be a little more consistent.
Yeah, Josh Thomas has gotten the reins. He's healthy again now, and the last couple of games, he didn't start against Tyler, but he got in early in the game and finished it out, got the start last week, and just had one of those games that if you're a quarterback, you're looking to give confidence to your team, and he really did that with last week's performance. Josh was just huge. 11 of 16 throwing the football for just shy of 200 yards and a pair of touchdowns. He ran for 3 more touchdowns on 16 carries for 168 yards. Combining, he's looking at almost 370 yards of the team's offense last week, and they got 424 in total offense.
Well, the most pleasant surprise to me about his play has been what he has done with his feet. We kind of anticipated coming into the season that he was going to be the better passer of the 2 quarterbacks Coach King had to choose from. But as it turns out, the last 2 weeks, he's just as valuable with his ability to run the football.
Now the Lobos come into this with a record so far on the year of 8-3. They are the second place finisher out of District 7. Lancaster, the Tigers, come in out of District 8. They were the champions in the district. They're 10-1 on the year. They've won 10 straight games. They lost their opener this season against Port Arthur Memorial. Other than that, they have run off 10 in a row. Now, there's some who are going to look at that record and kind of scoff at their district is not the strongest in 5A, and a lot of their games were early blowouts, huge numbers, 63-0, 62-0, 56-0, 42-0, 56-7. They had a lot of big wins over what typically are pretty weak opponents out of the Dallas area.
Well, and when you look at Longview's record, you say, 3 losses, you don't expect that. Well, 2 of them are to 2 of the top-ranked teams in the entire state, and so that kind of comes with the territory when you play the schedule Longview's played this year and last year. The other one that you look at on the schedule, they lost to McKinney North, and it was a Thursday night ball game, and it just seemed like they never got untracked that night. And when you look back at the 3 losses, so much of what happened to them was self-inflicted. Yeah. And if they can clean that up, you kind of just get a sense this Lobo team can play with anybody.
Yeah, they lost to Denton Ryan by a big score, but it was because of a bad quarter.
Yeah. First quarter, it was a push ball game.
Yeah, they lost to Highland Park, but they really couldn't get the offense going because they had a bunch of turnovers. And they lost to McKinney North because a bunch of turnovers.
Yeah, 4 first half.
Yeah, you take those things off the board, and obviously you can't, but you can take those things off the board, and it's maybe if you're really fortunate, you got a 10-1 season going. I think they had some that broke their way, but certainly there's nothing wrong with 8-3, and you're sitting in the second round of the playoffs. And we were talking this week, if you're playing on Thanksgiving that weekend, you've had a successful season no matter where you are and how deep you're going. That's the goal here, is to get to that 3rd week of the playoffs.
Certainly it is, and it is one of those check it off the list if you had a good season. Didn't win district, didn't get to check that one. Didn't go undefeated, didn't get to check that one. But if you're playing on Thanksgiving weekend, you've had a successful season.
Yeah. There were 16 teams when we started this playoffs in 5A in this region, Region 2. There are 8 left now. And when we get done with tomorrow, there will be 4 standing. Denton Ryan's going to take on Magnolia West tomorrow in Waco, at Waco ISD Stadium. Frisco, Wakeland, and Highland Park are playing in Allen tonight, and Frisco, Lone Star, and College Station are playing back in Tyler tonight. So by the middle of the afternoon tomorrow, everybody's going to be set for the Final Four. Unfortunately, if you're a Lobo fan, you're going to have to wait until tomorrow to find out if it's Denton Ryan or if it's Magnolia West, but you got to take care of your business tonight first.
Yeah, remind everybody, Magnolia West defeated Magnolia, who the Lobos handled upon last week. They defeated them, and I think they were the district champion of that district, weren't they, Magnolia West? Was Marshall? No, Marshall was in the other classification. I'm trying to think who won that district.
College Station.
College Station, who's the prohibitive favorite tomorrow as well.
Yes, who blew up McKinney North 49-10 last week. All right, so let's talk about Lancaster for a minute. Their head coach is Leon Paul. He is a speed guy. He was a track coach at Duncanville. He's been a track coach who won a state championship at Kennedale. He was the wide receivers coach and passing game coordinator for Duncanville for a number of years. This is his first head coaching gig. He lost his first game as a head coach, and as we said, he's rung off 10 in a row. So a fairly young 36-year-old Leon Paul getting the start at a pretty prominent school as the head coach, and he brought with him an important guy. The secondary coach at Duncanville, Sadiq Mohammed, is the guy that he wanted as his defensive coordinator. He basically said in an interview, that's the guy my guys went up against every week in practice. My passing game against his secondary, I knew he knew what was going on. That's the guy I wanted. And the numbers early on, they weren't giving up anything. And of course, again, kind of bad schedule, but no rushing yards at all, it seemed. They really started locking down defensively. They're real active. They're all over the place. They're not huge. They're kind of like Longview. Fast, a little undersized, and they're going to give you all kinds of fits sometimes.
Lobos coming onto the field. You can hear the fight song as they come through the smoky Rockin' L helmet there and make their way down. Lancaster just down the street from Duncanville. No surprise. They didn't go far to find their coach. And their former coach left last year for a pretty good gig. He's now an assistant at the University of Texas.
Yeah. It's not a bad gig at all. And speaking of Lancaster,
well, I say that. This year it may be.
Well, that's true. It may have been a step down this year. That's right. But speaking of Lancaster, it may be a school that if you're a Lobo fan, that you may see more in the next couple of years. Realignment's coming in February, and there are some folks who are starting to group teams and kind of prognosticating what they think might happen. And there are several I've seen that have Lancaster and Longview in the same district next year. So if that happens, well, this is maybe the beginning of 4 straight years of seeing the Tigers.
Yeah, that would be pretty strange if you're Longview, the fact that you would be ended up playing Lancaster, who's a South Dallas team. But to be honest, probably even closer than Highland Park was this year in Sherman.
So. No question. Straight down 20 and you're in that area.
Yeah.
All right, the guys to watch for the Tigers tonight, there are 3 of them. We'll start with the quarterback, Glenn Rice. He's a guy who's completed about 52% of his passes, 1,300 yards, 21 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He's not terribly huge. He's 5'11", 179. He had committed to Army, and then in the last week or 2 pulled that commitment and decided, I'm going to go back and think about this, and maybe I don't want to go to Army after all. He's number 1.
Well, he's not the first guy to ever change his mind about going to the Army.
There's a guy named Klinger, I think, that wanted to change that too.
A lot of people have second thoughts about I had a couple of uncles that told me no.
Yeah. Faison Williams is the second guy. He is a legit receiver, 6'4", 225. The senior's got 38 receptions, a little over 800 yards, 18 touchdowns. He's the Jalen Hill, if you will, of the Tigers. He had committed to Texas last fall, and then in the midst of the Tom Herman mess, decided to pull that commitment and reopen it, and so he's got a number of schools looking at him. The third guy is Isaiah Broadway, who's kind of got a strange story. He was born in Arkansas. He played at Hebron a few years ago, transferred over to Lancaster, had actually transferred back to Arkansas last December, January, but then was back here for the school year, and he's playing for the Tigers. He's run for a little over 1,000 yards, 12 touchdowns, averaging about 8.5 yards a carry, and the guy behind him, Brandon Faulkner, averaging 9 yards a carry, and he was actually the big producer last week in the win that they had over Frisco Reedy. He ran for 147 yards on 9 carries, including an 80-yarder to open up the second half. So those are the 4 guys to keep an eye on. And yes, we said Frisco Reedy. They beat Reedy last week 35-15, but they didn't play well. First half they were down. They were getting outplayed. They were outgained by a 2-1 margin, but Faulkner's touchdown kind of got them going. And that's where we started. Let's take a break. We'll come right back, and we'll stop talking. We'll watch what's going on as the national anthems get ready to start. You're on Longview Game Day. Lancaster band with the national anthem. Outstanding rendition.
All right, we're the home team tonight.
We're going to send captains out to the middle of the field. Looks like we've got 4 on either side for the Lobos tonight. You got Josh Thomas, DeQuaylen Vaughn, Isaiah Harris, and 61. Got to get 61 here real fast. That's Leonard Epps.
Coach likes to change captains up. You don't get to memorize them and remember them all year. He's got different captains every week.
And unfortunately, you don't get to call Leonard's name all the time. Defensive tackles, nose tackles, don't get their name called all the time. All right, keys to this game tonight. It's 55 degrees. Tony Kirk, what do you think?
Well, I think you've got 2 teams who are going to play fast and are going to be very athletic. It could turn into a scoring match. You talked about Lancaster wants to do a good job defending the pass. That's their forte. Well, that's okay. Longview can run the football. They don't mind running the football at you. And so if you try to come at them with a speed defense, and I suspect John King will want to establish the running game. As far as the defense of the Lobos, they can play pretty good pass defense. They got 2 outstanding corners, particularly Willie Nelson. If he continues to take the ball out of the air for the Lobos, I think that's a huge key, because when the Lobos have done well, they haven't turned the ball over. They take the ball away.
Longview won the coin toss. They'll defer to the second half, so they're going to go on defense to begin things today.
Cool evening, as you described. A little bit of breeze going right to left here in the stadium. And it'll ironically be behind the kicker. That's what you want. You want to kick with the wind behind you, but we'll see what they can do early here if they can put the ball in the end zone. That has not been the forte of Michael Fields, to be able to put the ball in the end zone even with this breeze behind him.
All right, Fields will tee things off. The white-clad Lobos, led by John King, 196 wins to his total.
You took one away from him this week.
I took one away. He's 44-16 in the playoffs, and there's a short kick to begin things. It'll bounce its way around to the 25 and be scooped up at the 25-yard line, and that is where the Tigers of Mansfield will go on the attack. Here's their lineup to begin things. Ja'Cory Anderson, Dwight Wheaton, Elijah Patterson, Devin Tatum, and Tank Chapman. It's a great name. Are the offensive line. Dwight Jones, Faison Williams are the receivers, numbers 4 and 2. Nick Bird is one of the slot guys. He's number 15. 13 is Tierick Martin. You'll see him as well. Running back Isaiah Broadway is number 20, and the quarterback is Glenn Rice. He is number 3, and we'll set you up with the Lobo defense. After this first play on first down, quarterback Rice, a little delay. There's a flag down, and there's not much of any gain. In fact, maybe a yard loss.
Yeah, I don't know if that was trickery or somebody's head wasn't in the game. At the last second, they tried to bring someone off the bench onto the playing field, and they were called immediately for illegal substitution. So, as the new catchphrase is this year, they're behind the chains early.
Yeah, they sure are. All right, so it'll be a 5-yard penalty. Lobos are going to decline that, and it will be 2nd down and 11 after the 1-yard loss by Glenn Rice. Defense for the Lobos. Let's try to do that after this play. On 2nd down and 11, they'll look over to the sideline. Here's the defensive line. Billy Smith and Jesse Fairchild, who didn't play last week, are back in there at defensive ends. Leonard Epps is the nose tackle. There's a handoff to Broadway on 2nd down. He's hit in the backfield and squirms his way forward to about the original line of scrimmage at the 25-yard line. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 10. Devin Isaac at the bottom of that pile. He, Jeremiah Rugely, Caden Brooks, and Tadarian Boone are the linebackers. Jaden Simmons and Willie Nelson are the corners. Chase Smith and Booty Garrett are the safeties for John Berry's.
Costly play there. Billy Smith comes up lame after that play. He's one of those guys they rotate in and out. Immediately, John King himself joins the trainer onto the field to check on Smith.
It's a position that you don't necessarily, you don't want to lose anybody ever, but this is a pretty deep defensive line. They are running roughly 8-9 guys on the defensive line, but Billy had a really good week last week. Has 41 tackles. He's the most productive of the defensive linemen. Just a sophomore at 6 foot, 195 pounds, and he is up walking off, although it's the old man walk. He's kind of stiff getting to the sideline, but he is walking off under his own power. That's good news.
Yeah, that is good news. They checked the knee, the trainer did, and it's not hanging like to make you think it's any major damage, and the fact that he can kind of walk it off may lead you to believe that he might be back tonight.
Zarius Shepard will come in his spot now on 3rd down and 10. Pass rush coming. A little time for Rice. He's got middle of the field. Caught at the 35-yard line. Breaking 2 tackles is the big man Faison Williams, who will finally be stopped at the 38-yard line. But they gain 13 and pick up the 1st down.
Excellent pitch and catch that time. You described it. He caught him in between the safeties, and Wilson continued to battle until he got the 1st down yardage.
So they'll move the chains. In fact, they're going to mark him all the way up to the 40-yard line. Forward progress stops there. So 15 on the play, and the first down of the game.
Mind everybody, that was 3rd and 9. That's a big play there. Had a real opportunity to get off the field that time and was unable to do so.
Keep an eye on number 2. He is their guy. 38 catches, 804 yards, 18 touchdowns. Rice rolling left this time. He's got all kinds of time, and he decides to pull it down and run, and he'll be pushed out of bounds by Shepard, Zarius Shepard, after a gain of about a yard. It's 2nd down and 9 again.
Yeah, good job of containment that time. Caden Brooks, the linebacker, refused to give him the outside and continue to stay in front of the blocker and just kind of hurt him out to where he got some help, and that was a great job that time.
Rice can run but doesn't have huge yards. 36 carries, 143 yards. It's not really his forte. He'll do it, but he's not breaking games open with his running. 3 receivers over here to the right this time for the Tigers, and really only 2 defenders. And now we'll move a 3rd one over. Handoff to Broadway, and again stuffed up right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on that play, and the Lobos are all over this early running attempt. As bottom of that pile is Shepard.
Once again, they've got an opportunity to get off the field here if they can make this happen on 3rd down. It is rare for Longview probably to enter into ball games, particularly with teams from the Metroplex. That's Hell coming onto the field, play a little safety here. That tells you about the respect for the speed of Lancaster.
3rd down and 8. We are at 9:41 to play here in this first quarter. First drive of the game. Tigers have picked up 1 first down. Rice 3-step drop. He'll step up, and now he's going to take off and run. Lobo's trying to close quickly, and he'll get the first down as he goes across the 50 to the 45 of Longview. And he'll make sure to signify he got his first down.
Well, Simmons that time had the only shot at him to stop him before the yard to gain, and he was not able to secure him, and so that allowed him to get the first down. Hell's going to go off. He looks like that was a 3rd and long situation where he comes out onto the field. We'll look see if that happens again tonight, but Young is back out there.
That's 2 3rd and 8s or 9s, and they gained 13 on each of them. So first down, back to pass. Rice looking to his left, throws that direction right into the coverage of Willie Nelson, but caught at the 41-yard line. Short gain of about 4 yards. Getting up at the bottom of that pile is, I believe that's 13. That's Eric Martin. Comes up with the catch.
We talked about Willie's coverage abilities. He's an excellent tackler as well, and he showed it on that play.
So we get 2nd down and about 6 after the 4-yard gain. And they'll go back to the ground. And again, Longview is up for the run game right now. There have been nothing going on except that little quarterback keeper a few minutes ago. Broadway gets little or nothing, and actually a yard loss. So 3rd down and 7's coming up.
Well, Longview's seen these spread teams all year that run out of the shotgun formation, so they're not seeing a whole lot of anything they haven't seen on a frequent basis.
All right, 3rd down and long again. We're coming up on the 8-minute mark. In fact, they'll snap it when we get under 8 minutes left to play here in the first quarter. Scoreless ball game. And in motion is Martin. They're going to fake the handoff to him. Right up the middle goes Rice. He's got the 30. Hanging on to him is Boone. He'll drag Boone across the 20 until finally a host of Lobos get there and pull him down at the 16-yard line. But that's a 26-yard gain in the first down.
Well, I promise you Lancaster's been watching some film. That's the play that they used last week in Magnolia that continued to work for them. They would basically run some zone read off that jet sweep.
Right away to the line of scrimmage they go. 7:26 left to play in the quarter. 1st down and 10. Tigers at the 16 of Longview. Back to pass Rice, throwing that far side again. Boy, right there again with a big hit. And that's going to be a loss of a little bit. And I believe that's Willie Nelson on the tackle.
Looks like we're going to get a replay on that. We'll see Willie come up and make this big hit.
A yard loss on the play.
Wow. He squared him up, put that helmet right in the chest plate.
That's 2 impressive tackles in the open field for Willie Nelson. 2nd down and 11. Hasn't bothered the Tigers to be behind the chains at all so far.
No, they've thrived in this situation on this first drive.
Mark Whitfield in the game for Lancaster. He's the outside man, split out to the right. They'll roll quarterback. He breaks one tackle, but he's not getting away. Boone got there first, and he won't get the tackle. Devin Isaac will, but it was Darian Boone that blew that thing up. It's a loss back to the 22-yard line, and it brings up 3rd and 16.
Well, they run a 3-man front most of the time. They brought 5 men that time, and the Tigers had no answer for it. And that may be something we see Longview go to. When they've given him time, Glenn Rice has been able to operate on 3rd and long. We'll see if on this 3rd and long if they bring that blitzer again.
Evan Isaac doesn't have a whole lot of tackles for losses, but he gets one on that one and a quarterback sack. So 3rd down, 16. Couple of step drop again. See if Rice wants to run. He's got a man open in the end zone, and the ball is there and caught for the touchdown.
Well, that time he kind of showed he's going to take off. We've got a flag back there. There may be a hold that might bring this back. We'll see. It could be that or roughing the passer. Those are the 2 things that usually get called in that spot, and it's going to be the hold.
It's a hold. Well, I tell you what, they had a guy open at the goal line. For a second, you didn't know if Rice was going to see him, but he picked him up last second, and he got behind the last corner over that way, and the Lobos are very fortunate that Martin didn't just get a 22-yard touchdown.
Well, there had been a sack on the previous play, and once again they brought 5 defenders across the line in a blitz, and somebody felt like they needed to pick it up, and when they did, they picked up a jersey, and they got a penalty to go with it.
So they'll mark it back to the 32-yard line. Now it's 3rd and 26. Dodged a bullet. Now it gets a little bit dicier for the Tigers. Spinning away as Rice throws incomplete behind his intended target, Nick Bird, at the 15-yard line, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Yeah, and that was a called play to the left. They had sent Wilson to the right. Nelson went with him, and they went to the short side of the field on a rollout, and the big play was there to be had, but they just dropped the pass.
Now you got a little bit of wind, but it's blowing in the face of the Tigers, and so they're not going to bring out their kicker, Nathan Gonzalez, on 4th down and 26.
It'll be interesting to see if Longview continues with the pressure, or they just try to keep everything in front of them.
Back to pass, Rice. Pass rush coming. Rugeley moves him forward. Throw up towards the 5-yard line. It's caught, and it'll be a 1st down at the 5 as Martin goes and takes the ball away from the combination of Chase Smith and Willie Nelson. And on 4th and 26, the Tigers get 27 and make it 1st and goal at the 5.
I'll tell you what, multiple opportunities here on this first Tiger drive for the Lobos to get off the field, and they've just been unable to do so. It almost looked like they crossed the receivers late in that route.
Well, that's a killer right there. That one's a gut punch. 4th and 26. I'm a Green Bay Packer fan, and 4th and 26 or 7 talk goes all the way back to a Philadelphia Eagle conversion. It still gives me nightmares. We're going to try on 1st and goal. Now it'll be a Rice to the 4-yard line. He's going to get stopped after just a yard gain as Jaden Simmons is on the tackle. And it's 2nd down and goal.
Well, I've always been impressed with Lynn Rice's 3-point game, but this kid here's he's crafty. He looks like he's a very selective runner, and that time he just kind of picked his spot. That's what he does well. He's not somebody that wants to run all the time, but when he does, he's outstanding.
Here we go again, 2nd down. He's going to throw left, back corner of the end zone, a little bit hot for his intended target. Willie Nelson's on the coverage over there with Faison Williams, and it'll be 3rd down and goal.
That's a tough throw right there for Rice. They ask a lot of him to go out to that far corner over there with the pass, and he almost got him, but he's got a couple more downs to get this thing in the end zone.
Felt like it was a little bit too hot of a pass. Not much air underneath it to give his 6'4" target a chance to outjump a 5'10" Willie Nelson. So 3rd down and goal at the 4 now. Faison's going to stay out far left. That's where Willie's going to be man coverage on him. Ball on that right hash, and so we'll see if indeed the quarterback tries to keep this thing. They're going to come up the middle at him. Hands off to Broadway, and that's just not fooling anybody. Again, the Lobo defense, Devin Isaac had him from behind, and the big man, DK Stanford, from the front. That's going to be a yard loss back to the 5, and it's 4th down.
Well, they're going to send out their kicking team. We don't know if they're going to actually kick it or not, but that seems to be the intention here. And if they do, that is a win for the Lobos if they hold this thing to 3 points.
Well, can both teams get a win? Because it feels like
you
converted on 4th and 26 and got points out of a drive that looked like it should have been dead. And the Lobos may stop a 1st and goal at the 4 and only give up 3. That feels like win-win.
Pretty severe angle here on this.
There's the kick from Gonzalez. I don't know if he got that in there. Nope, he did not. Stayed wide right. And as a result, the Lobos get the only win in that little drive. And we're going to take a quick break. There's 3:33 left to play in the 1st quarter. Scoreless ball game back in 30 here on Longview Game Day.
The best football teams in Texas collide inside AT&T Stadium, all battling to be crowned champions. Get your tickets now for the UIL State Championships. Be a part of this Texas tradition. Log on to SeatGeek.com.
All right, welcome back. Scoreless ball game. We finally get to see, with 3:33 left in the quarter, the Longview offense. 1st down, Josh Thomas back to pass. Caught. That's Jalen Hale, who will go for about 7 yards out to the 27-yard line, where it'll be 2nd down and 3.
Yeah, I missed most of the play. I'm watching the, looked like head coach from Lancaster just come sprinting down the field right before the snap. He's lobbying the head linesman. He's not happy with something. That was a nice 1st down play, but the head linesman's going to share the concerns of the Lancaster coaching staff. Longview's ready to play football, and we're going to have looks like a conference here.
That's all right. Gives us a minute. First of all, that was a 17-play, 70-yard drive that took a little bit more than 8 minutes off the clock. So we start with that. Second, how about some offense?
And I think what the discussion was about, where the ball was placed after the kick.
Yeah.
I think the Lancaster coaches wanted it returned down to the 5-yard line.
No.
It had been returned to the 20.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the officials are saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
a missed field goal.
The ball was placed correctly, and that's just a first-year head coach getting a little excited in his second playoff game.
Yeah, missed field goal inside the 20, gets it back to the 20. They give Hale 6 yards on that first reception, so second down and 4. Empty backfield. Josh Thomas keeping it himself across the 30, 35-40, 45-50. He's down the far sideline to the 20, the 10. Touchdown Lobos, 2 plays into the drive, and they've got a 6-0 lead with 2:55 to play in the first quarter.
Yeah, just a great job. The thing broke open. We saw this a week ago when he was able to use his feet. But I'll tell you what, I want to brag on 34 that time. Victor Bush got downfield, got on the safety, and stayed with the safety. He never allowed the safety to get an angle on Thomas that time. I'm of the school of thought that had he been able to get an angle, he might have been able to go get him. Bush never allowed him to do so.
Michael Fields on for the point after try. Isaiah Harris's holder point, the kick is on the way, and that one's good. How about that? 2 plays. We'll take. Oh, we're going to stay here. Apparently, we're going to stay here. We're going to watch maybe a replay. No? Commercial? I don't know what you're saying, Frank.
We'll take a commercial, and then we'll see what we get when we come back.
We'll take a break here on Longview Game Day.
The best football teams in Texas collide inside AT&T Stadium, all battling to be crowned champions. Get your tickets now for the UIL State Championships. Be a part of this Texas tradition. Log on to SeatGeek.com. The light shines on local students making their mark.
We grind as brothers, and we won as brothers today.
We just have each other's backs no matter what.
See what it takes to be the best in class. High School Spotlight, Sunday on Valley Sports Southwest.
All right, welcome back. 7-0 Lobos. How about we let you check out Josh Thomas's 74-yard touchdown run.
Watch Bush stay with the safety here. Just a great job. He never lets him measure him up. He stays with him all the way, just keeps him enough off of him to let him take it to the house.
You remind me of something from last week. The long touchdown catch and run by Jalen Hale. I went back and watched replay. DeQuaylen Vaughn, the offensive lineman, came out of nowhere and blocked that thing 30 yards down the field. That's kind of a Longview thing. They are not stopping on these plays. Kick that's bouncing off of Dwight Jones, the short return man that Tigers are fortunate to scoop back up at around the 39-yard line.
On the opening kickoff, that worked perfectly. We talked about Michael Fields typically doesn't kick into the end zone. Well, the opening kickoff, that thing got down to the 25. They downed it exactly where it would have been if you kicked it out of the back of the end zone. That time, Lancaster made an adjustment, had the guy sitting there waiting on it, bobbled it a little bit, but he leaves him some pretty good field position.
Yeah, but almost got a chance to steal a possession, too. All right, so it's first down and 10. Lobos have had 2 offensive plays to 17, but the ones that matter are the ones that have points, and the Lobos have the only one of those so far. First down, handoff. This is the second back. This is Brandon Faulkner, who's taken down in the backfield. That's going to be a loss of a couple. I believe that's Caden Brooks in there on the tackle.
Either way, it was textbook. He wrapped him up around the waist and just pulled him to the ground. Outstanding play, and we're back where we were early in the last drive that the Tigers had. Trouble running on first and second down.
Unless it's a quarterback, they're not running. So it's second down and 12, back at the 36. And they're going to go past this time, a little high and through the hands of Faison Williams, and it's going to bring up third down and 12.
Got the backers to bite a little bit on that play action. Nobody had their hands up. That allows you to run that slant when nobody gets their hands up. Willie had given him the inside, but it was a little bit high. He was trying to thread that needle, and it just went off his hands.
Third down and 12 now. Into the game, Caleb Woldridge, a senior defensive lineman. And they're looking around for where are the receivers, and Willie this time is going to flip all the way to this near side over to Dwight Jones.
They're hiding Wilson in the slot to get away from him. They're going to have a safety. Chase is going to be on the slot this time.
All All right, quarterback back to pass. Rice in some trouble. He runs around one defender and then spins, and Jeremiah Rougeley, who was chasing to begin with, drives him out of bounds at the 36. That's basically no gain, and it becomes 4th down.
Well, once again, Rice looks very comfortable. Even on a play like that nothing ever develops out of it. The whole time, he just seems to be extending the play. He never seems to get antsy. There was nothing there. He didn't force anything. Big 3 and out that time.
Yeah, very, very quick turnaround. Little confidence for the Longview defense, who needed a 3 and out. Those long drives will drain you. They're going to get a chance to get a little bit of rest. The missed field goal right now has been the big thing. It's been an emotional change. A short snap, high punt. Doesn't go very far as it's going to hit at the 45 and takes a tiger bounce inside the 35 and will be killed at the 31-yard line. Not a long punt. They only get about 33 yards on that punt. But the Lobos go back on offense with 1:19 left to play in the first quarter.
Well, we had the big play last time. You kind of expect Lobos to come out and maybe eat up some clock. We certainly know that for an appetizer, the Tigers ate up most of the first quarter.
Yeah.
They just came out here and took 9 minutes off the clock. We'll see what the Lobos can do here.
With 1:19 left to play in the first quarter, 7-0 Longview with the lead. And they'll go back on offense, 1st down and 10 at the 31-yard line. On 1st down, how about a handoff? Their first actual running play to a running back, and it doesn't result in very much. Maybe a yard for Taylor Tatum, who gets his first carry of the game, which is a nice sight because we did not get much of Taylor Tatum last week, who was also banged up.
We didn't see him for the entire first quarter last week. He got into some action, but neither one of the running backs last week ever got into great rhythm. That's why most of their run and their run offense came from the quarterback.
2nd down and 10. Stay with the eye. This time Harris in front of Tatum. Thomas looks around. He's still got time on the play clock, about 8 seconds. Into the ground he'll go. It'll be Harris. He'll just move the pile a couple of yards, and he stood up at the 33, maybe the 34-yard line, where it's going to bring up 3rd down and long.
Last week I heard John King say in his post-game interview with the radio broadcast that they run basically the old Veer-style block on that. I had Barry Norton, the former head football coach at Texas High, explained that to me this week. It's the old Bill Yeoman. You're just trying to get a sliver of a hole there for that up back who's so close to the line of scrimmage. That time, not even a sliver.
With 3rd down and 6. There's still 5 on the play clock here in the quarter, and I think they're just going to let this thing run all the way down, and it does. So the quarter comes to an end. We'll flip sides of the field. Longview gave up a lot of yards, but no points. They got a lot of yards and points. 7-0 after 1. We'll take the break. We're coming right back to Longview Game Day.
At Godarzi and Young, we take things more seriously.
Every case that's handled at our office is handled by a team. That work and dedication has caused our office to recover more record verdicts and settlements than any other law firm in Northeast Texas.
It is our obligation to make sure our client has the financial backings and the manpower to be successful.
We are exactly who we say we are. We're trial lawyers who've gotten results year in, year out.
All righty, Chuck, Zach, and Tony Kirk with you here on Longview Game Day. Appreciate you guys hopping on with us. You're enjoying this area round playoff game. 7-0 Lobos with the lead. Longview had only 4 plays on offense in the first quarter. They have 83 yards of offense. Lancaster ran, almost 20 plays. They've got 79 yards.
I think they ran 20 exactly. Let's count the punt as a play. Do you count a punt as an offensive play?
I do not.
I've known punters who are offensive.
I understand. 3rd down and 6 now for Longview at the 34. Josh Thomas rolling to his right. He's got a little room. He runs around the corner, gets away from a man and dives, but he's going to be short. He had to get to the 41-yard line. He's down at about the 40. Hanging on for dear life out there was Noah Ballou, number 23. That's a middle linebacker, and it sets up 4th down and 1. Lobos were 2 for 2 on 4th downs last week.
Well, and I tell you what, they're keeping their offense on the field, and so I don't know if it's just going to be a hard count that tries to draw them off, or if Coach King is seriously considered going for this early in this ball game.
Yeah, like I said, he had success last week. Guy in the middle is Thomas Gort. 56 is a 315-pounder. See if they can move him. And he moves, and he bumps helmets with the Longview center. That's Tavion Morgan, and that may be enough to get the chains moving for the Lobos.
Well, Gord headbutted him, and so that's exactly what you want with your hard count. And so, fortunately for the Lobos, they got him to bite on that.
Yeah, they're walking over to talk to Coach King, but they don't have much to say.
Yeah, what's the conversation about?
Take it, yes.
Yeah.
We will take that penalty, thank you. So the defense helps out the Lobos, hands them 5 free yards and a first down, and that's really good timing.
Yeah, I wonder if that's on the hard count or that's that center maybe, playing with his fingers on the ball or
Squeezing
something.
the ball. Yeah.
Something that provoked it.
First down and 10, 45-yard line now. Back to the ground, handoff to Tatum, who'll stumble forward to about the 49-yard line for a gain of 4, and it'll be second down and 6.
Almost had a hole there, a little bit of a shoestring tackle that brought him down, and if he gets beyond that defender, he could have been off to the races.
Taylor comes into this game 647 yards, 8 touchdowns on the year. He had a 161-yard game against McKinney North a few weeks ago.
Taylor steps out. Sometimes they go into the gun with just the fullback off to the side, Isaiah Harris.
They put it down at the 48, so gain of 3. Second down and 7. Thomas back to pass, throwing far side. He was going for Jartavian Wright and just was a little bit wide on him, or he didn't come out of his break soon enough. Either way, it's incomplete, and it'll be third down again.
It'll be interesting to see, will Longview look at this as 2 downs to make the first, or will they look at this, we've got to go get all of it? They've flirted with it going for 4th down, drew them off sides, but here's the point of the field where you might actually consider going for it.
So ball sitting at the 48, third down and 7. Thomas set, he'll roll to his right. Well, I tell you what, he's got a couple of receivers. He's going to throw it to the 40-yard line. Hale catches it there for a first down. Takes a shot as he goes out of bounds, but hangs on to the football. A little hit at the end is 21, who I don't have on my thing. That's Cedric Cobb, who's over there on the coverage.
Hale decided to do a bit of public speaking there afterwards and have a conversation with the sideline, but the head linesman quickly came in there and escorted him back towards the huddle. Good officiating crew gets on this stuff early. These playoff games, it's easy to let them get out of control when you got this much speed and talent.
Cobb, Hale 2 catches, 19 yards. He's up to 41 receptions, 941 yards on the year. And we're going to have a timeout on the field. That comes with 9:59 left to play in the first half. We're going to take a break. We'll come right back to Longview Game Day.
Don't fumble when you're looking for your next trailer. At R&J Trailers, we got the hookup. Cargo Mate, Hallmark, Text Line, Diamond C. We've got the inventory selection to get you into the end zone. Snap into savings with R&J Trailers. Don't pass up on the best deals around. R&J Trailers in Longview and online at rnjtrailers.com. We've got the hookup.
All right, we welcome you back. Second quarter action, 10 minutes and 6 seconds left. They actually pulled some time back up on the clock. Timeout on the field with the Lobos having a first down and 10 and a 7-0 lead.
Yeah, right now, you're kind of curious why they burned a timeout in that circumstance. They came out. Hale was not covered by anybody. He was going to have deep safety coverage, and now they pulled him off completely. They've let's see who they got in the backfield. Figure out who they've got back there. I don't see Taylor. Oh, there he is. 28's out there.
All right. Let's try it again. First down and 10. Marion Hamilton split out wide left. Bush and Jamerson Derensburg coming over to flip sides, and we got motion.
Yeah, Vaughn fired off too soon.
Yeah, you don't like that. You don't like a timeout and then a penalty out of the timeout.
Yeah, that's about as bad as you can get. And those are the types of mistakes that kill drives, and that's the type of mistakes, if you're Longview, you have to clean up at this junction of the season.
So first down and 15. Derensburg's going to come out. Derensburg's going to come out, and Hale will check back in now at the 45-yard line. This quarter has been the bugaboo for the Lobos this year. They're better than their opponents by anywhere from 30 to 55 points a quarter, except the second, where they only have a 3-point advantage, 106-103 over the year. Back to pass Thomas, setting up a screen, caught by Harris. He got a flag down, and that's back where the quarterback was.
That's going to be holding on Vaughn.
Yeah, Vaughn was grabbing onto Marquise Sykes, and there's going to be the call. Now we'll see if, I would assume they're going to take this and push him back 10 more.
One would expect them to do so.
There was not much gain by Harris on the screen, but they're going to march him back 10 more yards. So here we go. This is a 10-yard mark back. So back-to-back penalties on the offense. And what was first and 10 out of a timeout is now first and 25 on the other side of the field, back at the 45-yard line.
Well, you gave me a heads up about Sykes before the game. Sykes is giving Vaughn fits right now. The last 2 plays, you can kind of see Vaughn trying to do anything he can to slow Sykes' roll, and he fired off too fast on the previous play. That time he held him.
So we'll try it again. First down 25, and now we're going to have another timeout and a very angry John King, who just lost his play sheet. He's mad at somebody as they were lining up wrong. Another timeout for the Lobos. We still are sitting at 9:32, and we're going to take a break. No, we're going to stay here. Okay, we're staying here.
Well,
that's all right.
I don't think John King could be described as losing his play sheet. I think he knew where he threw it. He just threw it down onto the ground, and as you said, was not happy. He's had to burn a second time out here. 9:32 left. If you just joined us, Tigers went on a 17-play drive that came up empty with a missed short field goal. A couple of plays later, the quarterback for the Lobos, Thomas, took it to the house on a running play, and that's where we're at 7-0.
By the way, for Josh Thomas, that touchdown rushing was his 9th of the year. It broke a 3-way tie with Jordan Allen and Taylor Tatum, so he's now the team's rushing touchdown leader on the year.
So he's TD Thomas now.
He is TD Thomas.
Touchdown Thomas.
All right, first and 25. Let's try to get a play off here. 3 receivers to the left for the Lobos. 3-step drop Thomas. Looking deep, now deciding to pull it down, and he shakes off one defender, second defender, and then tiptoes down the sideline before falling out of bounds at the 44 of Lancaster. So he picked up 11 of it, and it makes it second down and 14.
And that may not look special to you, but that is a quick Lancaster defense. I mentioned it earlier, there's not going to be many times in a football season that Longview is going to play a team that's probably faster than they are. You mentioned the fact that this coach has got some track background. The city of Lancaster has a huge track background, and they are Speed City, and it shows up on Friday nights in the fall.
How about 19 state track championships at Lancaster?
Yeah.
Second down, 14. That ball was tipped and incomplete. Big man Gort. It's a great name for a nose tackle. Gort.
I am Gort.
He knocks it down, and it's third down and 14.
Big man got through that time and got his big paw up there and knocked that one down. He is a load.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to see a whole lot of dive plays tonight as long as he's occupying those 2 spots in front of the center.
He said the biggest play maybe of this drive when he leaned forward and butted Hemlitz with Tavion Morgan, the center, down on a 4th down and a couple to go. 5 yards, move the chain. So now we got third down and 14. And we're going to go back play action. Rolling out is Thomas left, throwing sideline. That's caught, but short of the first down. And let's see where they're going to mark this. Well, at the 32, so he's about 2 yards shy, is Hale. They needed 14. They got about 12. And now it's going to be 4th and a couple.
Yeah, we're going to see this. Excellent play. Now they've got a chance to go for it on 4th down. He gets that foot down right before he goes out of bounds. Good pass, good catch, and a great opportunity here to keep this drive alive.
Hale, the only Lobo receiver with a reception. He splits out wide right. Man coverage down here. And we're going to get another timeout. This one, it's on Lancaster. They were not happy with the setup they saw on 4th down, so they'll take the timeout. 8:37 left to play. We'll take a quick break and come right back to Longview Game Day.
Howdy, East Texas. Neil McCoy here for Patterson Nissan in Longview, home of the free lifetime warranty. Shopping for a pre-owned vehicle has never been easier. Just head over to PattersonCars.com and you'll find over 1,400 quality pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs, many certified pre-owned and backed by the Patterson Lifetime Warranty. And you can buy with confidence because each one has to pass a 167-point inspection before it's listed for sale. Log on and find your new-to-you pre-owned car, truck, or SUV at PattersonCars.com.
All right, welcome back. 8:37 left to play first half. It has been a fairly quick half, except for a few penalties we've had in the last little bit. This first half moved along. 7-0 Lobo lead. They are facing a big 4th down and 2 coming out of the Tiger timeout.
And that is a playoff football timeout right there. You do not want to give up a second score here. And if you're Lancaster, you realize you can't fall too far behind the Lobos.
We remember a couple things. Number one, the Lobos won the coin toss but deferred. They'll get the ball to start the second half. They've already converted on the 4th down. They're going to hand off to Tatum. He's got a first down as he bursts across the 30 down to the 25-yard line. They'll move the chains on the run. Noah Bolu on the tackle. But there's Taylor as he rumbles for about 7 yards.
Well, that time Vaughn, who's had a rough drive, blew the hole open and gave him the spot on what used to be described as a quick hitter. It was just that quick eye handoff. You're not looking to go for the home run. You're looking just to get what you can. And they did that time.
8:13 left in the half. First down. How about back to the ground, back to Tatum again as he bulls his way to the 20-yard line, lowering his shoulder and going for 5 and gives Longview a ride for those 5 yards.
I think they're sensing that there's not going to be green pastures behind the center with that big nose guard, but maybe in those other holes down the line of scrimmage you can find somewhere to operate, and that's 2 straight plays where they've done so.
And if Taylor Tatum's feeling it, you got to feel real good if you're a Lobo fan.
Certainly.
2nd down and 5. They'll stay in the I, which means we're going to go back to the ground to Tatum. Same spot he won the 4th down. Boy, got slung around hard and dropped back at the up at the 17-yard line. It's good for a 3-yard gain, but he got tilt-a-whirl thrown down there.
Well, and as good as that wrestling match was, the one downfield may have been better.
Aaronsburg.
There was just as much action happening away from the ball as there was at the point of contact. Once again, 3rd down, you've got the option here of picking it all up here. If you want to take a shot downfield, you can always go for it on 4th.
Yep. 3rd down and 3 at the 18. They found what they like right now, this tight formation, and right back to the ground again. Taylor, this time going outside. He's going to be pulled down from behind. That'll keep him a yard shy of the 1st down, and it's going to bring up another 4th down. And the tackle that time is P.J. Moten.
Can't imagine Coach King won't want to go for this. 4th and short, this close to the promised land.
We're under 6.5 to play as the Lobos break the huddle.
Big play here, big play.
4th and 1. They are same formation again. They're basically telling the Tigers, and this time I'll tell you what, the Tigers were shifting defensively, and one of the Lobos got a little itchy and rose up.
Well, they had moved the big nose guard over to the 2nd gap, and when they did, he came to the line and looked it over. Then when they shifted him back right before the snap to the right on top of the center, that's when the right tackle, I think it's the tight end, actually jumped that time. So we're going to see Fields come out here and try to make the field goal.
That may be a 4-point penalty. They'll take it back to the 28-yard line. So this is a 38-yard attempt for Michael Fields. Kick is on the way. He's got lots of leg. Gets it up and good from 38 yards away. So the Lobos get points out of it with 5:52 left to play in the first half. They've got a 10-0 lead. We'll take a timeout watching Longview Game Day.
Howdy, East Texas. Neil McCoy here for Patterson Nissan in Longview, home of the free lifetime warranty. Shopping for a pre-owned vehicle has never been easier. Just head over to PattersonCars.com and you'll find over 1,400 quality pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs, many certified pre-owned and backed by the Patterson Lifetime Warranty. And you can buy with confidence because each one has to pass a 167-point inspection before it's listed for sale. Log on and find your new-to-you pre-owned car, truck, or SUV at PattersonCars.com.
All righty, 10-0 Lobo lead. That drive, by the way, 14 plays, 48 yards, ends with a 38-yard Michael Fields field goal, and the Lobos have a 10-0 lead.
Well, you've already mentioned that the Lobos get the ball to start the second half. When you've got 5:52 left on the clock, if you're that Longview defense, you do not want to give up a big play. It'll be interesting to see, do they go back to this little kick it into the ground and try to get it to bounce forward, or if they let Fields here air it out. He's got the wind in his face for the first time tonight on the kickoff.
It's been fairly successful, and if nothing else, it's got to give Lancaster a little pause if indeed they're going to try that again. And this time they go a little higher pooch. It'll come to the 29-yard line, and that's not good news as they return it across the 50 and carry defenders till Fields finally gets fallen on at the 41-yard line of Longview. That's the one we don't want to do again.
Yeah, you really don't like it because your safety back there is Willie Nelson, and he had to get in on that tackle, and he came up a little bit hobbled. It's going to be interesting to see if he just kind of, banged a knee or something on that play. But now that time they did a little pooch kick. Tigers were ready for it, and they didn't wave that fair catch at all. They took off with it.
Yeah, that's probably something you want to avoid doing. I think you're better off even skipping it on the ground than putting it up short like that. All right, well, it'll be the 41-yard line. Lancaster gets its best field position of the game. It'll be first down and 10 now for the Tigers. Man in motion is Dwight Jones, and on first down they're going to hand off. This time they're going to try to go wide, and they do with Broadway as he lowers a shoulder and runs over the Lobo at the 35-yard line. That was Devin Isaac that took the brunt of that hit, I believe. Nope, that's Chase Smith.
Well, I talked about last week, Magnolia had success in the jet sweep game. They ran it a couple times for similar gains, and then they used it to set up the zone read when the quarterback would take off. Looks like they're going to try to get that more in part of the offense tonight for the Tigers.
17 yards on the gain, first down, 24-yard line. Rice, the quarterback, back he goes. Got some time, rolling to his right. He's waving his receiver to go deep, then throws sideline and overshoots his target. Willie Nelson on the coverage over there. It'll be second down and 10.
Great job that time by Devin Isaac. He realized that there was no containment on that far side. He took off and became the containment and got a beat on the quarterback. And there at the end, it looked like Rice realized he was coming and he had to get rid of the football.
The Tigers bringing in another tight end, 85's Demetrius Brown. He just checked into the game. That's 85.
Yeah, Frank's pointing out what we talked about on the kickoff. Willie came up lame off that. He's still hobbling around, but he's still drawing Wilson in coverage.
Yeah, Faison Wilson over here, and they're going to stay on the ground as they go back to Broadway. Grabbed by Fairchild and kind of awkwardly falls forward to about the 22-yard line for a gain of a couple, and it's going to bring up third down and 8.
Yeah, Willie's kind of shaking like it's his calf or his ankle there, but he's trying to get loose. It'll be interesting to see if they try him. I'm a little surprised that Lancaster, somebody in the press box, didn't see that, and they haven't tried him with Wilson downfield.
Yeah, you would think it's coming. Third down and 8. Man coverage down here at the bottom of the screen. Back to pass goes a quarterback. Instead, he's going to keep it himself. They tried to spy on him, and he ran around Devin Isaac, and he's going to get slung down at about the 11-yard line. Jeremiah Rougeley on the tackle, but it's good for a first down again for Rice. It'll be first down and 10 at the 12-yard line as he goes for 10.
Well, I remind everybody, this young man just looks very comfortable. When he takes off, he's still got his eyes downfield. He's looking to see what is beyond him, and he never looks panicked.
And he ran around Isaac that time, who it looked like had him. That linebacker for the Lobos doesn't miss many tackles, and kind of got juked that time. So it's first down and 10 at the 12. Right hash, back to the ground to Broadway. They're trying to go wide with this. He'll cut it at the 10-yard line and get down to the 5 and finally get stopped there where it'll be second down and 3 as he goes for 7.
One of the better running plays of the night for the Tigers, particularly considering it wasn't the quarterback involved. They've moved the ball on the ground with the quarterback Rice's feet, but they haven't had much success with the running backs. That time a nice looking run.
3:29 left here in the half. 10-0 Lobos. But Tigers are on the 5-yard line and knocking on the door. Second down, quarterback keeping it, rolling to his right. looking the other way. He's got a man who's waving his hands. He didn't see Broadway. Throws out of the end zone. Well, Broadway's jumping up and down for a minute saying, I was wide open. Throw me the ball. Buda Garrett finally saw it and headed that direction.
Well, that time Rice found himself with 3 Lobos looking right at him, and he didn't really have anywhere to go. Bought himself a little time with a juke to the left, but never could get his feet set, and I'm not sure if he just didn't throw that away on purpose.
All right, well, it's now 3rd down and goal. They got down here on their first drive of the game and had to come away with a field goal attempt that they missed. 3rd down. Rice handing off Broadway. They've done this a couple times, and this time they get stopped shy of the goal line, but maybe enough for a first down inside the 2. Willie Nelson, Buda Garrett, and Tadarian Boone all in on the tackle.
They do get the first down, and the officials had motion to stop the clock. Now they've restarted it.
With the first down, it'll be down at about the 1 yard line. He gained 4 on that sweep to the left. This is a play they found they like. Back to pass, quarterback now running, and he's hit shy of the goal line, powers his way in, and they're going to say touchdown Tigers with 2:40 left to play in the half.
Yeah, Broadway probably got away with a hold there. You could see him tugging the jersey on the guy that was trying to come off to make the tackle. Unfortunately, the official didn't see it, and that's going to be a touchdown. 2:40 left for the Lobos. Will be interesting to see if they try to put additional points on the board with a 2 for the price of 1 here before the half.
Glenn Rice's 5th touchdown rushing of the season comes with 2:40 left to play in the first half. And now the chance for the point after from Nathan Gonzalez. He's already missed a field goal, a little high snap, kick on the way, and he makes that. So we've got a 10-7 ball game. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll come right back to Longview Game Day.
The best football teams in Texas collide inside AT&T Stadium, all battling to be crowned champions. Get your tickets now for the UIL State Championships. Be a part of this Texas tradition. Log on to SeatGeek. The best football teams in Texas collide inside AT&T Stadium, all battling to be crowned champions. Get your tickets now for the UIL State Championships. Be a part of this Texas tradition. Log on to SeatGeek.com.
2:40 left to play in the half. The Tigers with an 8-play, 41-yard drive. Started with the return on the kickoff. Gave them the short field, and to end it, they get the 1-yard touchdown run from Glenn Rice to make this a 10-7 ball game.
You now see Taylor Tatum be able to fill this thing with a head of steam and see what he could do with this kickoff.
He's back deep. Back there with him, I believe, is DeKalen Taylor. Here's the kick. This one's going to be a squib through the line, and Lobos will just fall on it at the 28-yard line. So they'll get it there with 2:40 left to play in the half. And again, we're repeating a couple of times. We start the second half with the ball, so you're in a place to maybe get 2 straight drives with points and really put some pressure on the Tigers.
But your concern number 1 here is don't have a 3 and out. They've got 2 timeouts left. You don't want to have a incomplete pass and kill the clock and let them use their 2 timeouts and leave themselves a short field before the half.
Lobos have just 1 timeout left. All right, first down. Thomas will move his running back out of the backfield, then throw over that way to Harris, who catches at the 25, goes forward and falls down at the 35-yard line for a gain of 7 on first down.
Kind of the perfect play. You've got a very easy pitch and catch. Opportunity for a bigger play if it takes off. Either way, the clock keeps moving. Now, if you pick up the first down, you think about getting a little more daring with your play calling.
Clock running, 2:15 left here in the half. 10-7 Lobo lead. Back to the eye. Taylor Tatum, the deep back. We're going to fake it to him. Back to pass. Little double move that time. Having to throw it late. Hale's got to come back. Goes up and gets it 34-yard line and drags defenders to the 30 for a first down.
For those of you who don't watch Longview week in, week out, welcome to the Jalen Hale Show. You get one of those almost every single week where it's a 50-50 ball or whatever odds you want to call it. He makes it his.
35 yards on the reception. He had a double move. He was put on the corner, and he got behind him, but Thomas had pressure and had to pull it back down and then double clutch and throw. And the underthrow may be the specialty for Jalen Hales. He comes back to get it first down at the 30 to the fullback. They're going to go on first down as Harris powers for a couple to the 28-yard line.
We talked about the difficulty of running that play tonight. They've got the big nose guard. It's going to be difficult to get Harris much daylight in there. But you still run that play to set up the option. That is your first of the three choices on the triple option.
Taylor Tatum going to come out. We'll get another receiver in as
We'll
Jartavius
see
Wright
the Hail Mary.
Oh, really? It's a little early for that, isn't it? We still got a minute left to play in this first half. 10-7 ball game. Second down and 8. Wright and Hale to split out wide right over here. Victor Bush is in the slot to the left. And he'll come in motion. And we're going to get another timeout.
This one's going to be the Tigers, I believe. They saw something they didn't like.
So they'll stop the clock with 47 seconds left. That is the second timeout for Lancaster in this half. We'll remind you at the half, we're going to show you what's going on down at the field, which means it'll be band time as both the Tigers and Lobos bands are in attendance for this playoff matchup. So we're going to get you all of that. We'll bring you stats from the first half as well as a lot of the games that matter started at 7 o'clock tonight. So by the time we get through the end of the half and get you to the other side, we should have second half scores from almost everything that's going to matter. And we'll keep you up to date, not just on the 5A stuff for us in Division I, but all the way around the area from 3A up to 6A. We've got Tyler Legacy in action tonight. We've got a handful of teams in 5 and 4A that are going to matter to folks in Northeast Texas. So we'll have all those scores for you for the Friday nights. Of course, there's some tomorrow games. We know the winner of this is going to face either Denton Ryan or Magnolia West, and they play tomorrow afternoon.
47 seconds left. John King's got a timeout in his pocket. He'd like to save that for his kicker just in case he needs it. So you come up here, it's 2nd and 8, probably going to pass the ball, but at the same time, you're in the I formation.
All right, go back to it. We're a little worried about Wright lining up offside. It almost looked like he was. Rolling out to Thomas, pressure coming. You don't want to take a sack, and he did. All the way back to the 43 and had no way to get away. On the tackle, Santo Bro with the sack all the way back to the 43 as they lose 15.
Yeah, and that was the timeout that Coach King wanted to save for his kicker. Now he's got to save it or go ahead and spend it just so he gets 2 more plays in this half.
He's got 38 seconds left in the half as the Lobos burn their last timeout. It was everything you didn't want to have happen on that. You come out of the second down, you take an incomplete and stop the clock and save the timeout, but Josh had no way to be able to set his feet and make a pass that could be safe and be sure it was going to be incomplete.
Well, he had 2 backs in the backfield. He had a tight end. It's what most people consider max protection. They just didn't get the job done that time. They ended up having a jailbreak. Somebody didn't make their block. And from both sides, he got pressure. There was nowhere to run with it. Never could get his feet set to throw the ball away. When he reversed to the left, he didn't have a receiver on that side of the field unless one of his backs releases.
All right, so we'll come up with a 3rd down play now that's going to have to be good to get all the way to the 20. So 3rd and 23. There's 38 seconds left in the half. You don't need all of it, certainly, but you got to figure the 30-yard line's where you're aiming for at least. Thomas looks like he's going to throw on the run, caught at the 30-yard line. Diving for the grab is Hamilton, who will hang on to it at the 30, and that's exactly where I was calling. Get to the 30, and you got a chance.
Well, you can take a shot here at a 40, probably 8-9-yard field goal, and that's what they're going to do. It looks like but they got to get it done. Well, they can't now. Here's where your lack of timeout cost you.
Yep, 8 seconds, 6 seconds. Thomas looks back at the game clock, which is behind him. And now we're going to have, Longview's called a timeout, but I didn't see that he had any.
Well, I guess he did. I guess he had 1 left. I thought he only went into the drive with 1. He must have had 2. My bad.
Well, no, the scoreboard has 0. So we're kind of going by what the scoreboard's telling us, which was that there were no timeouts left. But with 4 seconds left, Coach King calls his last one.
And if I'm Coach King, I run my kicker out here. I take a shot. There's no breeze blowing right now. Cool air tonight.
Well, here's your perfect chance for your Hail Mary you wanted.
No. That was the Hail Mary a while ago. Yeah.
Well, this is really it now.
Okay, now you're not spelling Mary right. When Hale catches a long pass, I'm Mary. I'm M-E-R-R-Y. You're just misspelling Mary, my friend.
You can be Mary.
Your Roman Catholic roots are showing right now, my friend.
You can be Mary if he catches it.
I was on that last play that he caught that 37-yard pass. But either way, we'll see what Coach has in mind. Looks like he's going to leave his offense on the field.
Oh, that makes sense. We're looking at a legit 48, 49-yard field goal. And maybe a little much. So they're going to take a shot, it looks like. 4 receivers. Hale's going to be the one nearest to us on the camera, the bottom of the screen. Back to pass. Quarterback's got a little time. Now he doesn't. He's in some trouble. He's going to run. He's got defenders in front of him, and he's not going to get all the way in. They'll stop him at the 5-yard line, and that will end the half. A nice scramble, good for 25 yards, but it gets no points. And we're going to go to the half with the Lobos holding on to a 10-7 lead here in the area round of the playoffs in Division II. They got the lead. They'll get the ball. Watching us here on Longview Game Day as we get ready for the bands to start getting out here to start the second half.
The best football teams in Texas collide inside AT&T Stadium, all battling to be crowned champions. Get your tickets now for the UIL State Championships. Be a part of this Texas tradition. Log on to SeatGeek.com. The light shines on local students making their mark.
We grind as brothers, and we won as brothers today.
We just have each other's back no matter what.
See what it takes to be the best in class. High School Spotlight, Sunday on Valley Sports Southwest.
Printing your photos just got easier. Just pick your size, color, and favorite photo, and we'll do the rest. Because your unforgettable moments are meant to be framed.
Over the last 10 years, our office has achieved many record verdicts and settlements. Our commitment has always been to outwork and outfight any we have in whatever courtroom we find ourselves in.
At Godarzi & Young, we have settlements and verdicts that are unmatched. Whether you come face to face with the corporation or the insurance company, they know that if they don't justly compensate our clients, they're going to have to face the Godarzi & Young trial team in the courtroom.
Ladies and gentlemen, under full direction of Home Major Sheriff Blanco and Ashley Rivera, the Longview Longview High Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to halftime entertainment by the Lebo Nation Band. As the band moves into place, tonight's drum majors are Jalen Holland, Kamora Bajura, Legarian Merchant, James Mitchell, Karen Stevenson, and Desire Pregame. Matthew James. Get ready to break it down, man, right here one time. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the LCD drum line. We're going to set it off.
All righty, well, we are at the half. Bands finally relinquished the field, it looks like, and we're getting some football back in line here. How about some scores as we're at the half with a 10-7 Longview lead over Lancaster. You care about 5A Division I, obviously. Highland Park and Frisco Wakeland are tied at 14 in the third quarter. College Station's got a 45-14 lead over Frisco Lone Star. That's going on over in Tyler. That one's also in the second half. 5A Division II, Texas High with a 14-0 lead over Texas City. Montgomery, who is 11-0, trailing Port Neches Grove 28-14. That's in the second half. And Barbers Hill is now trailing A&M Consolidated 27-14. 4A Division I, Kilgore's up over Stafford 21-14. Chapel Hill leads Brazosport 28-21. Lindale, of course, lost yesterday to El Campo. 4A Division II, Quinlan Ford is leading Pittsburgh 14-7 at the half. Actually, second half now. Van 21, Sunnyvale 7. That one's in the second half. Gilmer 43, Caddo Mills 24. That's in the second half. 3A Division I, Gladewater beating up on Grandview 49-14, and West is beating Mineola 23-7. Malakoff, Mount Vernon already won in that division. 3A Division II in Region 3, West Rusk 14-11 over New Waverly. That's in the second half. Dangerfield up 34-13 over Elysian Fields in the second half. Wascom 35, Troop 14 in the second half, and Newton's beaten DeKalb. That one is at halftime 24-6.
Yeah, and as tight as our ball game is here with a 10-7 Lobo lead, I think the halftime was just as competitive. Both bands put on a great performance, and they seemed like they were playoff level.
Yeah, almost had a little end zone episode over there.
It looked like for a minute they were going to rumble there.
Yeah, Lobos were leaving the field, and apparently the Tigers are ready to get on the field before we were all exited. So all that was going on as well. First half stats, how about this? Lancaster had 8 first downs. Lobos had 624 yards rushing and 86 passing for Longview, 75 rushing, 45 for Lancaster. Lancaster was 4 of 9 throwing the football for 45 yards. Lobos 6 of 8 for 86 yards. The only score of the game from the touchdown perspective for the Lobos was a 74-yard touchdown run from Josh Thomas in the first drive that the Lobos had the football. The last drive basically for the Tigers got them a touchdown from 1 yard away. All right, we're going to go back to action. Second half ready to go. Kickoff going from left to right, and this one's going to bobble its way all the way inside the 20 and still getting fooled around. Lobo's still struggling. They're not going to find the football, and Lancaster picks it up at the 7-yard line, and they're going to get a gift. They'll put it at the 9 or maybe the 8, but wow, the Lobos could not, with 3 or 4 guys having opportunities to get the ball, never could come up with it, and they're going to give it up first down and goal inside their own 10 with 5 seconds gone in this second half.
Well, what could have been a great adjustment, Taylor Tatum had been moved into the spot right where the first bounce occurred. If he scoops that, he may have gone the opposite direction. Instead, he's unable to make a play on it, kind of like a shortstop, and the ball just kept on going from there.
And you wondered about can't advance it. There was never any actual ability for an advancement when the Tigers got the football. First down, they're going to throw to the end zone. Caught, touchdown. One play, quickly Faison Wilson gets himself a 9-yard score, and we are less than 10 seconds into this second half, and Lancaster's got its first lead of the game.
Couldn't get much tighter coverage for a moment there. It looked like Wilson and Nelson were in some type of waltz on the far side, but before you know it, Wilson had taken the ball away and made it his score.
Well, that's not the way you wanted the first couple of seconds of half number 2 to go, but it's exactly what happened as Longview finds itself trailing by a 13-10 margin, point after try on the way for Gonzalez, and that one he pops up good, and just like that, we've got just a couple of plays and already a change of score. 14-10 Lobos trailing with 11:50 left to play in the third quarter.
Well, all during the first half we talked about the fact Lobos get the ball, Lobos get the ball, Lobos get the ball, start saying, no, they don't get the ball. And instead, they get an early deficit here in the second half.
Well, that's about as bad a beginning as you can get. You lost the possession. You gave up an easy score. The good part is this is only a 4-point game. and you go down and score, you get the lead right back again, but it definitely changes the game plan a little bit. John King and that staff on offense, Chris Valerie and all, I think had in their head, we're going to do what we did last week. We're going to get the ball, we're going to pound it down the field on the ground, we're going to get a score, we're up 2 scores, we're good to go. And instead, now you find yourself trailing for the first time tonight.
Well, and I go back to the lost opportunity on the kickoff. I truly believe if Tatum can make a clean play on that ball, he's got an opportunity to really take off and push that thing down the opposite direction. As it is, it took a funny hop, and they find themselves trailing by 4.
All right, well, they're going to kick off again. See if the Lobos can do a little better job handling it this time. And the same kind of kick and the same kind of result. Taylor Tatum's got to find it at the 25, and he's taken down the 27-yard line. Nice open field tackle by Lancaster, and it'll be first down Lobos at the 27.
I don't know if he's putting something on the ball or what, but that thing breaks at the end. It just snaps off and bounces funny. It takes pretty true bounces all the way down the field, and just when it gets to the return man, it does something crazy. It's happened 2 times in a row.
Yeah, the Lobos will start now at the 27-yard line for what we were hoping was going to be a possession. They would be able to bulk up the lead. Instead, they'll start with the ball trailing 14-10. First play, Josh Thomas back to pass. Caught Jartavian Wright at the 34-yard line for a pickup of about 7. And it'll be second down and 3.
Yeah, not a huge play, but a good solid start to the drive. It gets Wright going tonight. And it makes the corners be honest out there.
And they'll mark him actually at the 33-yard line, so give him a 6-yard gain on first down. In that first half, Josh Thomas throwing the football, we said, was 6 of 8. Second down and 4 at the 33-yard line, and we're going to have movement again.
Yeah, it looked like the left guard that time bobbled. That's going to be number 51, Christian Arnett. Just a slight bobble, but the defense was more than happy to point it out to the officials, and that nice first down gain has now mostly been erased.
This is the offense for the Lobos. DeQuillan Vaughn at left tackle, Christian Arnett left guard, Tavion Morgan's the center, Blair Williams the right guard, Jax Norman the right tackle, Victor Bush the tight end. Jartavian Wright, Amarian Hamilton, Kalen Taylor, and of course Jalen Hale the receivers, Isaiah Harris the fullback, Taylor Tatum the tailback, and it's going to be Josh Thomas keeping it this time and just not able to escape. Grabbed up and tackled by safety Kendrick Jones after just 2 yards, and now it brings up third down and about 7.
Yeah, the senior Isaiah Harris shaking his head. He knows if he could have sealed that block, there was yardage to be made there. His inability to do so resulted in little or no gain that time, and now it's 3rd and 7 and a lot of momentum riding on this play.
10:20 left to play third quarter. 14-10 Tigers. Winners move on. They'll get the winner of Denton Ryan Magnolia West, who'll play tomorrow. Play action, rolling right, Thomas in trouble, and now have to throw it away past the Lobo bench and out of bounds, and it's a 3-and-out for the Lobos.
Early on, those rollouts were pretty effective. But late in the first half and on that play, they did a better job of getting some containment out there and forcing him to release the ball early. And now we're going to have to see if the Lobos can play some defense.
It's the first punt of the night for Michael Fields. As he comes on, all sitting at just shy of the 30-yard line. 4th down and 7. One return man back deep. That's Tyerick Moore. He's standing at about the 35-yard line. Win behind Fields. Snap is on the money. Kick is on the way. This one spirals and turns over and will be caught at the 28-yard line on the fair catch by Martin, and that is where the Tigers will take it with 9:59 to play in the third quarter.
Nice hanging punt, no return. That's what you want from your kicker. And Fields, I'll be honest, struggled a little early in the year, but his punting game has gotten better as the year goes on. And we'll see as Coach Berry's defense comes out. I want to give a shout out to Dottie B in Oak Grove, Louisiana, who I was told at halftime watches all the broadcasts.
Really?
And she's a big fan of Coach Berry.
That, by the way, a 42-yard punt for Michael Fields. So first down at the 28-yard line. Defense for the Lobos. We have not seen Billy Smith back in, so we'll assume he's still hobbled. We've got Jesse Fairchild, Leonard Epps, and DK Stanford, defensive line. Jeremiah Rugeley, Devin Isaac, Caden Brooks, Darian Boone, linebackers. Here's a quarterback, Glenn Rice, who breaks down the pass rush, has a first down, and slides safely into second at the 41, maybe the 42-yard line for a gain of 14. Willie Nelson, Jaden Simmons of the corners, Buda Garrett, Chase Smith of the safeties.
Yeah, if the viewers were going to accuse me of crushing on somebody, it's that quarterback, Glenn Rice. That kid right there has got such a high football IQ. He showed it right there. He knows how valuable he is to his team. He gets the first and slides down.
And Rice, the quarterback. We're going to do a little quick toss forward. That's Martin, who will get to just about the 45-yard line. He gets tackled out of bounds there as Willie Nelson's in on the tackle. It's a gain of 4, and it'll be 2nd down and 6.
Well, we've mentioned 2 or 3 times in the first half that jet sweep game has given Longview a little trouble the last couple of weeks. They ran it again for some positive yards. The scary thing is when they kind of use that as their fastball and then throw the curve off of it.
Yeah, it's really a pass play, good for the 4 yards. So you end up with a 2nd down and 6. Ball at the 45-yard line. 9.5 left to play in the third. 14-10. Lobos trailing. Rice back to pass, looking middle of the field. Rush coming after him. He'll toss the ball out of bounds. There's a flag behind the play, and it looks like maybe the pressure from Rugeley may have drawn a hold by Tank Chapman. And that's indeed what
they call hands to the face is what they call. Same player on the offensive side, but instead of holding, he used his hands to the helmet to try to slow the defender.
So let's see what they're going to do with this. That was an incomplete pass. Would have set up 3rd down and 6. And the ball was at the 45-yard line. They're going to go back to there, and I think they'll mark him off. Coach King wants to push him back here.
Well, it's personal foul, so it's pretty easy.
15-yarder all the way back to the 30. And kind of weird on the mark here. That ball's at the 45-yard line. It should probably be at the 30. But they've put it at the 28. I'm not sure exactly.
It's a new math. It's different up here in the Metroplex.
Who knows? So anyway, on 3rd down, we're going to throw out here to Martin. Catches at the 25 on the run across the 30, and they're holding on to him at the 37-yard line, where now will bring up 3rd down and about 14.
Tunnel screen that time, and that's what you expect on a second and extremely long play. You want to get part of it back, and that's a good way to do it.
Yeah, they got back a little. It's should have amounted to about a 7-yard gain. Actually, it was more like 9 because of the way they marked that thing off. But it brings up 3rd down now. They got to get to the 49 of Longview for a first down, so it's a 14-yard gap. Here comes a pass rush after the quarterback, and again, he's looking down the field. He's going to keep it, and then he gets unloaded on. Rugeley coming in from behind. He won't get a sack on that because that was actually across the line of scrimmage, but he put a big hit on the quarterback and drives him down at the 39-yard line. It'll be 4th down.
Halftime adjustment alert. That time looked like Tadarian Boone had been instructed to be a spy. He simply was waiting on the quarterback, Rice, who's really been effective to not taking off on 3rd and long plays. That time, Tadarian Boone was waiting on him, didn't make the play, but slowed him enough to allow the defense to make the tackle.
And they did that in the first half, but it was with Devin Isaac. And I think they made that a little move.
They've got Isaac rushing from the outside here to start the second half.
Well, I'll tell you what, I don't know how they get that punt out of there. That may have been tip coming out because it's going to roll out of bounds at the 46 of Longview. That is about a, 15-yard punt? 15 exactly. Wow. And they don't go back the full distance back you would expect and then really quickly get the kick out of there. And that looked like a Lobo may have touched that ball.
When we talk about Devin Isaac, that time they used him on the outside. We haven't seen Billy Smith return. He got hurt on the very first series, and so that may have been an adjustment due to his injury.
All right, so with 7:52 to play in the third, Lobos trailing, but they get good field position. 46-yard line. Down by 4, back to the I formation.
Once
and we leaned again.
The same guard that put him behind the chains on the last drive, well, not actually behind the chains, that had a big play on first down, and he erased it. That time, unfortunately, gets called again. It's the little things.
Penalties starting to catch up for the Lobos here. It's, where's my penalty thing? I don't know where my penalties are. Oh, here we go, 5 for 30 yards. All right, first down and 15 now. They haven't been hit with the big ones, but the annoying ones, those little 5-yard drive killers. Back to pass, Thomas, he's got a man deep, on the run, and just over the paw of Jalen Hale, who got held up a little bit at the line of scrimmage just as he was making his break past the defender. He got knocked off stride just a touch, and it's second down and 15.
I got just a touch from the producer that time. We got a little excited. Unfortunately, Thomas didn't stop at the gas station, get a little air under that, but he was open. He just, as I said, didn't get quite enough air under it.
We've seen 10, 11 games this year. How many of you seen Jalen Hale get overthrown?
Not many.
Yeah. First down, well now second down and 15, 41-yard line, 7:45 to play in the third. Thomas gonna roll. Throws, caught by Hamilton, who goes down to the ground right at the 45-yard line. They'll get a couple out of that, but not very much, and it sets up third down and 11.
That time, Tigers come with a 5-man pass rush. Not a lot of time there to get his feet set, and so he didn't get much on that ball, and that's why it came up a little short. And Hamilton never really had a chance to do anything other than just go down and get the football.
Third down and 11. Lobos don't want to waste this nice field position they got on the 15-yard punt a few minutes ago.
It'd be interesting to see now if the Tigers answer with somebody spying on Thomas if he takes off this time out of a pass play.
Kalen Taylor going to split out far right. Hamilton down here on the left. Third down, little time, stepping up, getting hit, spun down, loss of a yard, sack for the Tigers back at the 43-yard line, jumping it, Marquis Sykes, who gets credit for that, and they're going to have to punt.
Unfortunate, the bobble on first down kind of got him going in the wrong direction to start with. Great field position to begin that drive, and it's an empty possession.
All right, Michael Fields on to punt as they had 3 plays and went backward 3 yards. Martin's going to be back at his 20-yard line. Again, we're still punting with the wind behind us. Not a whole lot of wind. In fact, the flag's not even moving. Low snap. Kick on the way. This one not going to turn over. It's going to go nose down at the 25-yard line. It looks like it may have hit Derensburg, and it'll be down right around the 24. And with 6:06 left to play in the third quarter, that is where Lancaster will start.
Yeah, unfortunately, that time we never found out if it was going to get a good roll or not. Derensburg never located the football in the air, so when it bounced, it hit him, and the first touching there was at the 26-yard line.
All right, well, clock stops, 6:06 left to play. Third quarter, still 14-10. Only score of this second half came after a muffed kickoff that made its way through the middle of the Lobo special teams and was scooped up and fallen on at the 9-yard line by Lancaster. A play later, they hit it on a touchdown from Glenn Rice to his big receiver Faison Wilson to make it a 14-10 ball game. Back to pass. And caught at the 30-yard line. And I'll tell you what, these guys don't go down easy. They make catches and they lean forward. Mark Whitfield with the reception that time up to the 33-yard line for a gain of 7.
Rice showing off his arm a little bit. A lot of zip on that pass. He got there quickly, and that leaves him with a 2nd and 4.
First catch of the day for Whitfield. Split 2 receivers left, 2 receivers right. Isaiah Broadway is the tailback. He moves up a step next to his quarterback, Glenn Rice. And in motion, they're going to fake hand it off to him. Quarterback's going to keep it, and Rice, boy, takes a big hit at the end of that. Wow. That's at the 36, right at the first down marker. I think that may have been Buda Garrett came in here and just unloaded on the quarterback, and he's going to fall forward to the 38 for the first down.
Yeah, Buda gave him that shoulder pad that time, and wasn't malicious. It was just a good football hit. First time they really had a shot at Rice.
Gained 5 on that one, so it's first down at the 38-yard line. Under 5 minutes to play in the third quarter. Lobos need a turnover. Here comes the rush, pass on the way, and the receivers bumped out of bounds long before he got over there. Willie Nelson on the coverage on Faison Wilson and literally just pinned him against the sideline and forced him out of bounds.
Wilson and Willie having a long conversation. Wilson walks back with his finger in Willie's face. I don't think that's going to intimidate Willie too much. Willie's biggest problem is he's having to deal with 6'3", I think.
Yeah. Nelson stays on the coverage on Wilson. 4:49 left to play in the third. 2nd down and 10. Rice snaps the hands and he keeps it himself, rolling left, throws it out that way in the flat. That's caught and knocked out of bounds for a gain of 6.
Trey Smith did a great job of getting him out of bounds. You figure with the lead, they're let's see, 3rd or 4th down here.
3rd down now. Yeah, 3rd and 4.
Yeah. But good job of corralling him and make sure he didn't go get the 1st down.
And Willie looking for where is Faison Wilson. He finds him. He's lined up in the slot. Trying to keep their best cover corner on the best. Wilson has 1 touchdown today. Oh, low snap. This one's found by the running back, but he also then found big DK Stanford. And it's going to be 4th down. They were lucky to keep possession that time. That's a loss back to the 42-yard line. It'll be 4th down for the Tigers.
Reminded me one time my 5-year-old was in a contact Easter egg hunt. That's what that looked like. He picked it up off the ground and got blown up at the same time.
At the Easter egg hunt?
Yeah, it was tough. It was a tough time back then. Eggs were hard to come by.
I tell you, how old was he?
5.
5? Oh,
yeah.
Boy.
But his sister was 3, so
yeah.
we expected that.
Understood. I've met them both. I can understand it. All right, 4th down. We're going to get a little bit of a problem here. As I tell you what, I'm not sure exactly what Lancaster's punter was doing. That's Sykes, the rush end, who acted like the snap was over his head. I think it was supposed to be a fake punt.
Yes, I agree 100%. He's supposed to fake the over snap. The ball's supposed to go to the up back.
Yeah.
But in a strange twist of fate, it went between the two of them. And as good as the field position was last time for the Lobos,
yeah,
they get better this time.
I've not remembered seeing when a snapper was supposed to fake the long punt and then actually, the snap, and then actually did it. I've never seen that before.
Well, that was interesting to say the least. And but come playoff time, you see folks dust off some trick plays, and that one didn't work.
Well, Sykes, who had a 15-yard punt earlier, tops that with a 4-yarder. 1st down, Lobos with the football. Taylor Tatum lowers his shoulder and gets 2 across the 45 to the 44-yard line, and it'll be 2nd down and 8.
Well, we've seen this Lobo team every week but week 1, and sometimes they decide in the second half, we're going to establish the run and we're going to let our offensive line lean on you. You kind of get a sense Coach King would like to do that with about 3 minutes less or less than 3 minutes left to go here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, it's time for the offense to come up with something. They haven't scored since the 2nd play of the game. There's Thomas back to pass. He's throwing again that foil. Difficult, risky pass. He was going for Jartaven Wright and coming over on the coverage that time. The corner for Lancaster almost had him a pick 6 going the other direction.
Yeah, if that's not Big Wright out there, Wright, who's a long, big body, was strong enough to kind of keep him away from it. But either way, a scary 2nd down play.
That's Todrick Cobb. We've seen his name a couple times, and he almost got himself a little early Christmas gift.
Well, they're going to split Taylor Tatum out.
All right, 3rd down and 8. We're going to hand off to Tatum. Little sweep, 40-yard line. Tries to avoid one defender, spins through another, and has a 1st down as he almost ends up in the bench on the Lancaster side. But that's on all Taylor Tatum end of that run to get the 1st down and a gain of 10 to the 34-yard line.
I talked about before the snap, they put him outside, but then bring him on the jet sweep. Why not put the ball in your best running back's hands on the jet sweep and let him have an opportunity to go get the 1st down? Now, the Tigers coaches here on the near side were all screaming for a hold on the end, but great execution.
8 carries, 31 yards for Taylor Tatum today. Just haven't gotten on track. He gets another chance here. Oh, nice little move as he just sidesteps around his offensive lineman, Jax Norman, and goes forward to the 30-yard line for a gain of 4.
Jax never released his block, and good job that time by Tatum to get everything he can. That's what's important here. 2nd half of the ball game, you got to get every inch out of every run, and that time Tatum did exactly that.
1:30 left to play in the third. 2nd down and 6, 30-yard line. Thomas under center, 3-step drop, looking for Hale. Thrown, caught at the 5. He'll lean forward into the end zone for the touchdown, and the Lobos go back on top on the 30-yard connection from Josh Thomas to Jalen Hale.
Well, that time Thomas reached into his pocket, got a dime, and then decided to drop it downfield right on the receiver's hands. We talked about he missed the one earlier, didn't miss on that one.
For Hale, that is touchdown number 26 in his career. Every catch he makes in the end zone is another one for the record. He's reestablishing the career-high touchdown mark, and he just added one more to it. Michael Fields on for the point after try, and the Lobos lead it by a score of 17-14. 1:18 left to play in the third quarter. We'll take a break. We're coming right back to Longview Game Day.
The best football teams in Texas collide inside AT&T Stadium, all battling to be crowned champions. Get your tickets now for the UIL State Championships. Be a part of this Texas tradition. Log on to SeatGeek.com.
Jalen Hale's got 5 catches for 96 yards, maybe none bigger than this one. Watch it. He's got man coverage out there, goes up above the defender, and just powers his way into the end zone to make it a 17-14 Lobo lead.
Yeah, he kind of high-pointed that ball. He went up and got it. Not bad coverage, just threads the needle, and Hale takes it from there.
That touchdown and that catch put him over 1,000 yards on the season. He's now at 1,018 on his 44th reception of the year.
Pretty good for a run-oriented offense.
Michael Fields on for the kick. Let's see where they're going to go. This time they're going to kick it off. Wynn behind him drives the return man all the way into the end zone. Now he touched it before the end zone but didn't have possession.
Yeah.
And the ball's going to be dead and brought out to the 25-yard line.
Best kickoff of the night. Gets it to the end zone. Most importantly, the return man wasn't really going to have an opportunity to return that football because he had not prepared for the deep kick. He backpedaled, really never got in possession to catch it and return it. His momentum was going to be going the wrong way anyway.
That's Josh Rankin, the special teams coach. They make the right call on that one. Let's go long kick. And they do, 25-yard line. 1:17 left in the third. It's been a back and forth quarter. Began on the first play of the quarter on the muffed kickoff. And now the Lobos get the lead back for the first time in this second half. Glenn Rice, the quarterback. Isaiah Broadway, who the Lobos have done a pretty good job of keeping quiet. He had a little bit of success in the second quarter with that wider run. They have stayed away from that here in the third so far.
The Tigers decide they want the ride hash. We'll see what they're up to here.
Yeah, there's Martin in motion. The 3 on the left side. Here we're going to go. Handoff to Broadway. He's looking for a place to go, and boy, that's nothing. Loss of 3, maybe 4. Caden Brooks on the tackle, and it's second down and long.
Brooks having a good night tonight. That time they just did a great job of beating the offensive line, having the opportunity. Brooks and Boone finished that thing off for a loss.
Brooks with 51 tackles on the season coming into this game. 6.5 sacks. An interception last week. To the ground, they're going to go back to Broadway, and he'll go back to the original line of scrimmage, and that's all she wrote, and it's third down and 10. Chase Smith gets up from the pile with the tackle.
That time, Longview went with 4 linemen, but 2 of them were stand-up ends. It was like they were making sure nobody was going to get to the outside on that play, so it was pretty easy to turn in, and the linebackers cleaned it up.
Longview defense has a 3rd and 10. They had trouble on the opening drive getting off the field as the Tigers converted several 3rd and longs. This one of those bad snap rolls all the way back inside the 10. Rice is in trouble. He'll throw it out of there, and it's incomplete. Simmons had dove right in front of Whitfield, but couldn't come up with the ball at the 30-yard line. And 2 bad snaps so far have cost the Tigers greatly here in the third quarter.
That one certainly did. That time they came again with a 4-man rush. Looked like for a moment it was going to be good blocking, but the snap was bad, and that made it just a jailbreak at that point.
So 4th down and 10. Willie Nelson, Chase Smith are going to go back deep to return the punt. Well, I say that. Here comes another return man on. That's Taylor. DeKalen Taylor coming in now. So with 8 seconds to play in the third, Sykes, who's had a 15 and a 4-yard punt, gets a low snap, gets this one out of there, and it doesn't do much. Hits at the 50. Oh, Willie Nelson bobbles it, falls on it at the 46-yard line. But it'll be Lobo ball on the Tiger side of the field when we come back to start the fourth quarter. Lobos leading 17-14 right here on Longview Game Day.
Over the last 10 years, our office has achieved many record verdicts and settlements. Our commitment has always been to outwork and outfight any opponent we have in whatever courtroom we find ourselves in.
At Godarzi and Young, we have settlements and verdicts that are unmatched. Whether you come face to face with the corporation or the insurance company, they know that if they don't justly compensate our clients, they're going to have to face the Godarzi and Young trial team in the courtroom.
All right, welcome back. We get ready to start the fourth quarter. Little stat updates for you. Lobos now with 139 yards on the ground, 126 through the air. That's 365 yards of offense. Lancaster 93 on the ground, 78 through the air. That's 171. So about a 100-yard advantage for Longview. Now can they take advantage as they'll get the ball for the second straight time?
Really third straight short field. Yeah. Second time inside the other team's 50, but this has been 3 straight drives they've started with the short field.
Second time in a row at the 46-yard line. So we'll start the fourth quarter. Longview up 17-14. Winner moves on to round 3, the regional semis. We don't know who yet because Denton Ryan and Magnolia West have to play tomorrow afternoon to decide the last team getting in this region.
As we tell you every week of late on Longview Game Day, it may be our last week calling.
Yeah, we don't know. We never know. All right, first down. We'll empty the backfield. Harris, they ran this play earlier, this time high, but that's actually dangerously
I don't know
lateral.
if that's a forward pass or not. I think the White Hat's going to have a conversation with the head linesman. Yeah. Nobody seems to be marking it that way, so that's good news for the Lobos.
Yeah, that got a little too much rush, a little too fast. Josh needs another second or two to get Isaiah a chance to get out in the flat, and that one got hurried in a hurry and almost became a 5 or 6 yard loss if that would have been a lateral instead of a forward pass. But it's second down and 10 at the 46-yard line. Hamilton and Taylor will split out to the right.
No safety help on Hale.
Yeah, Hale's to the top of the screen, go back to the ground. Harris, nothing. 3 Tiger defenders in there as soon as Isaiah got the ball. That's a loss of 2 back to the 48-yard line. Now it's 3rd and 12.
Well, to be honest, when they're in that set, we typically expect Harris to be back there for his blocking ability. When they're in that shotgun formation with him off to the side as the lone back, they're typically not looking to run him. He's a fullback by trade. That's really not what he does well, but they typically have him in there as a blocking back.
You don't normally see 3 linemen get through. You almost had the feel like that was maybe the linemen looking like they were blocking for a screen instead of a running play. But it's 3rd down and 12. Now Hale's going to split out to the wide right. He's got safety help over the top, and we got a flag down again.
We get too much time. They came from the back, Judge. And it is indeed. They took too long to get the play off, and the 3rd and 13 wasn't bad enough. Let's make it a 3rd and 18.
Ugh. It just makes you crazy as you have the moments when these kind of things happen, and the Lobos start in a little bit of a hole now on 3rd down.
We talked about these 3 opportunities of short fields. If they don't make a really outstanding play here, they're going to let this one get away from them.
That's too deep this time on safeties. Thomas back to pass, draw play instead. Boy, a big gaping hole. Taylor Tatum has the first down across the 30 and thrown down at the 25. Wow. You needed 17. You got a bunch more.
Let's look at the replay on that. They come out in that power I formation, and It's just a handoff all the way, nothing fancy about it, but he gets into the secondary, and that's who you want with the ball against their defensive backs, and makes the huge play and keeps this drive alive.
28-yard run, first down at the 24-yard line. That is a big play for the Longview offense. Back to the ground, they'll go to Tatum again as he goes to the 20-yard line, maybe the 19 for a gain of 5.
Not the exact same play, but same set. They run to the left side that time and get a big first down gain. That's what you want. If you can get 5.5, 6 yards on first down, you'll take that every time.
Lobos with the clock under 10 minutes left to play now.
Tell you what, 7 points here would go a long way to move this one towards the W column.
Yeah, this was the plan to start the third quarter. That muff kickoff kind of set everything backward a little bit. Second down and 5 at the 19. They'll stay in the eye. They'll go to Harris' system. No, it's going to be Thomas keeping it, and all the way to the end zone. Josh Thomas from 19 yards out with his second touchdown of the evening, and the Lobos have a comfortable lead now at 23-14 point after coming.
Well, in the first half, we discussed the necessity of running that dive play every so often. You set that play up when you pull it out of the belly of the dive back. That time, the defense had seen that dive play 3 or 4 times. They bid on it fully to the point where the third option, the pitch was never needed. The second option of the quarterback taking off and going to the end zone was all that play needed to finish it up.
8 carries, 118 yards, 2 touchdowns for Josh Thomas. Point after try is good. There's a flag down, but it may be offsides on Lancaster, and they'll give him 5 yards on the kickoff. 9:31 left to play in the ball game. 24-14. Longview with the lead. We'll take a break. We're coming right back. The Longview Game Day.
It's a new season, and it's sport. All of our stylists are clean certified and guy smart. So come in and get yourself back in the game with our legendary MVP experience. It's a mancation with our hot steam towel, relaxing shampoo, and a winning cut. Check in online and walk out with confidence. Sport Clips. It's good to be a guy.
Let's check the replay on the touchdown by Josh Thomas. This one from 19 yards away, and look at the fake coming. They got the play-by-play guy, and they got the defense for Lancaster as they go all the way to make it a 10-point lead.
Well, he rode that fullback a long time before he pulled it out and took off. And it's ironic they're playing the Notre Dame fight song during that, because that's the one old Era Parsigan used to have on the commercial years ago, the old triple option play.
8 plays, 46 yards for the touchdown. They're going to kick off deep again. This one gathered in at the 7. To the 15, 20, and 21, maybe 2 is all they're going to get. And Coach King is fired up on the sideline.
Well, he's got a lot of reason to be fired up right now. Huge drive. You got to go back to that 3rd and 18 when they picked up the first down, when they simply gave the ball to the I-back and let him go between the tackles. Nobody was home, and he went and got a big first down play that really kept the drive alive.
All right, well, they're going to mark it at the 20-yard line, so that's where things will begin for Lancaster. The clock's not their friend anymore. 9:24 left. They're down 2 scores. And the only touchdown they've got came after a muff kick. This time a screen to Broadway, chased down from behind, and that kept from getting a bigger play by Tadarian Boone. It is a first down, but Tadarian stopped that from being monster yards. It stops it after 12.
Well, to be honest, Boone got sucked in on that screen play, and so I'm sure he was full of adrenaline when he realized he had to go back and get that back.
Yeah, that's going to show up on film tomorrow. I got to get him. First down. Rice trying to run away. Boone's got him. Gain of 2 maybe. That spying for Boone is a great adjustment. It's a gain of 2, and it's 2nd down and 8.
Well, that time he was left just 1-on-1 with Glenn Rice, and Boone did the job that time.
Ball's at the 35-yard line, so a gain of 3. Clock under 8.5 when they come to the line of scrimmage to snap it. Boone starting backward already. Looking right. Throw on the way. That one's caught by Martin He's upended immediately at the 46-yard line. Simmons on the tackle. But it's another first down now for the Tigers.
You could see Boone that time just basically took one step up and just said, come on, Rice, if you're coming. That time Rice thought, I better get my feet set and find a receiver.
Under 8 minutes, just about. Rice back to pass, looking to his left. Flushed. He'll throw it away and out of bounds to stop the clock with 8:04 left to play in the game.
Tell you what, they're going to have to figure out how to respond now. Longview, we know, is an excellent pass rushing football team. That was kind of negated in the first half by Glenn Rice's ability to take off and pick up big chunks of yardage. Now that they've got a spy on him, they're going to have to adjust to it.
Yeah, you don't know that Zarius Shepard know it's going to be a pass play. 5 sacks on the team. He's third, and he's not the starter. Pass rush coming. Isaac can't get there, but they do get him. It's going to be a loss of about a yard. Caden Brooks on the sack, and it's going to bring up 4th down.
Brooks really having a good ball game tonight. He's just where he needs to be multiple times tonight. We're going to see Woolridge is going out of the ball game. I didn't pick up the number coming in, but John King always likes to bring in fresh troops on that defensive line. Looks like Shepard's back in there. We'll see who else is on this defensive line, but they're about to put their ears back.
Yeah, 3rd down, 13.
Won't be surprised we see that screen again.
7:25 and counting. They've still got 3-2-1 on the play clock. I gotta snap this pretty quickly, and they just get it off. Rolling left is Rice, sets his feet, throwing deep, got a man back there, it's caught by Willie Nelson. Interception for Willie at the 20-yard line. His 8th of the season, and the Lobos take the football back.
Once again, Willie's man was not the intended receiver. He came off of his man. When he saw the ball go in the air, he became a safety, went and got it. We're going to get a replay on that as we see the quarterback, Rice, rolling to his left here and overthrows the intended receiver, and there's Willie Nelson to pick it off.
He had 3 last week. He's got 1 tonight. That's 8 on the season. And the Lobos will get the ball with 7:11 left to play in this game.
Both teams have all 3 timeouts left.
First down for the Lobos now. Thomas looking, and he's going to get brought down in the backfield again. He got away from everybody, but they're going to say he was down. First guy there again was Marquise Sykes, and that's going to be a loss back to the 16-yard line, loss of 5.
Slow developing play. Only good news on that play is it wasn't a pass. The clock keeps running. And right now, if you're the Lobos, you want that clock to just keep running every play.
2nd down and 15. Longview's got the 10-point lead, 6:35 left to play in the game. Trying to move into the 3rd round of the playoffs. They've made it in 18 years, 11 of them, they've made it to the 2nd round. Back to pass again, Thomas. He's in trouble enough to throw it away. There's nobody near any of this. We're waiting for a flag if there's going to be intentional grounding. Coach Paul is all over the linesman over here, and there's the flag back at the 3-yard line, and you get an intentional grounding call on Thomas. And you know, I know you want to put the game away, but this is 2 straight pass plays that have been high risk and have been both negative.
Well, and I mentioned before, take the sack. The clock's your friend. You wanted the clock to roll. If you get sacked there, yeah, it's a bad sack, but you don't want to throw it away and stop the clock there.
Now this one's going to go all the way back to the, they're going to mark this thing. Finding their spot to put the ball down for 3-yard line, 4-yard line. They can't figure it out. Now they've decided 4-yard line. So now you got a problem.
You do.
Bigger.
Well, I won't be surprised if we don't see the dive play this time and just try to give your team enough room to punt the football.
So you got 3rd down, because obviously you lose the play on that. 3rd down and forever, and Thomas is going to run forward and try to get some of this back, and he'll get it out to at least the 18-yard line, so there's some room to kick the ball safely anyway.
Important play, you're right. not only do you have plenty of room for the kicker now, you got yourself a little more green there. This time you need good solid punt and good solid punt coverage. It's going to be 13 there. Martin dropping back. He's going to be around midfield as he awaits the kick here from Michael Fields.
All right, well, they're going to be around midfield. You got a little bit of a little space thanks to the run by Josh Thomas as he got it out to the 18-yard line. Gonna let that clock run as far down as you can. 5:24. Here's the snap and the kick. It's not a good kick. It'll hit at the 45-yard line, but it takes a good Lobo bounce across midfield and will be down finally at the 43-yard line. So with 5:12 left to play in the ball game, it's another longer field. They got to go 57 yards from where they are, but at least flipping the field back a little bit to the Lobos.
I agree. It wasn't a pretty kick, but when you have that little roll on the end and no return, it works out well for the Lobos. And so it wasn't the drive you wanted. Took a little clock off of it. You got 5:12 left. You're 2 scores ahead here. And you still get to go chase the quarterback around because they're still in pass mode.
All right, first down at the 43-yard line. 24-14 the score. 5:12 left in the game. Back to pass. Quarterback Glenn Rice gets away from Devin Isaac. Looking. He'll throw one out of bounds as Devin Isaac and Tadarian Boone were closing on him, and it's going to be second down and 10.
Yeah, I want to bring up both of them there, particularly Boone. There was a couple times early in the year where I think Boone would have lowered the boom there. Smart play there. Don't get a roughing penalty. Don't, knock him down. They just forced him to make the throw, went on about their business. Good play by both of those guys that time, not to pick up the roughing the passer penalty.
Second down and 10, 43. They'll empty the backfield. That's Faulkner. Thrown to the middle, intercepted. Picked off by Boone. 40, 35, 30. Shakes off a tackle. Still on his feet inside the 10, and he's going to be out of bounds at the 6-yard line.
He fumbled that at the end. It's going to be interesting to see the call here. I think it remains Lobo ball, but that ball came out at the end, but I think the defender was out of bounds when he gained possession of it.
It's Boone who intercepted it. He ran it down there. Boone's still on the field. They're not acting like they've got the football.
All right, let's see here. We got the replay coming up. There's some argument over whose possession it is while we watch the replay. Boone got, I thought, face mask on the way by, but didn't get the call. He stepped out of bounds further back. They should have called him out of bounds.
Yeah, official on the side didn't see it. And let's see, they're going to give it to the Lobos now. So ball at the 6-yard line. Lobo offense coming onto the field.
Boone was sitting back where he'd been spying most of the second half. And when they tried to throw the ball across the middle, he just jumped up and plucked it out of the air, took off. I think he had some memories of being a running back at that point and probably should have just got out of bounds.
And it's got the Lancaster crowd very unhappy. You can hear them making noise. Boone with the interception. I think that's his first of the year. Either way, it's first down and goal at the 6. Josh Thomas trying to find the end zone, gets to the 4, the 3. His linemen are pulling him toward the goal line, and they're going to say he stopped at the 1. And now here comes a flag.
Yeah, I think we may get some extracurriculars at the end of this thing, but now there's another one. So we'll see. Hopefully these are the offsetting variety, and there's no change of this great field position right now. I've got one official without his hat on, so that means he threw his flag and then he had to throw his hat. So we'll see what the calls are. We've got a couple of them.
The ball's down at the 1. There's a Tiger down at the goal line. The officials are sorting out the play, and they're putting the ball at the 3-yard line like he got into the end zone. Now let's see what they're going to do with all this.
Well, the push and the pull is perfectly legal. You can do that now. Obviously, in the old days, that was illegal.
Here comes a call.
We got to aid the runner.
Yep.
For the offense.
Aiding the runner.
5-yard penalty. We got a dead ball. Personal foul, number 79, White. That's going to be marked off also.
So 2 penalties against the Lobos.
Well, I'm corrected. I thought you could aid the runner now.
I think you can push, but you can't pull.
All right.
So they take off the game down to the 1, and they're going to mark off 2 penalties against Longview, 1 aiding the runner, 1 a personal foul that comes on DeKalen Vaughn.
All right, there he's showing the live ball foul. Now he's going to take off from there with the dead ball foul.
So this will mark things back to about the 23.
So what looked like a great opportunity to salt this thing away now has become more complicated.
Yikes.
It basically results in a 20-yard penalty. They're still moving.
Yeah,
now it just seems like they're wandering around.
Well, my question is, how long is I'm not familiar with the aiding the runner penalty. So if they mark that one back, and that's probably 10 and then 15
Yeah, they must
for
have called it a 25. I thought they'd walked the 5 originally for that and then 15 more, but looks like they end up with about 25 yards altogether.
So
I'm going to have to look up that aiding the runner one.
You just don't see it very often. So it goes all the way back to the 28-yard line where it'll stay first down, but it's first down and goal from there. And if nothing else, at least I'm sure the Lancaster fans feel like at least they got some measure of happiness from the fumble that they thought they shouldn't have lost. All right, well, Lobos are going to take a timeout. We're just going to go ahead and stay here with it. 24-14 is the score. There's 4:17 left in the game. Lobos have first down. You've got 3 timeouts still in the pocket of the Tigers, but they've got to have a stop here, and they got to get 2 scores in the last 4:17 to flip this thing around.
And let's remind everybody, even though it's first down, it's first and goal. You don't see the yard to gain sticks up. This is a first and go from the 28. That's pretty unique. So just because they moved it back, you don't have 10 yards to gain. You've got 28 yards to gain.
Yeah.
But you got 4 downs to gain it. You expect at this point that the Tigers will start burning some timeouts.
Yeah, they really have no choice. They can't let the clock run out on them here. Not with the 2 scores. When you got the ball in your possession, you can do some things to kill the clock. You can't do it without it. Let's see if we've got anything score-wise to pass along to you. This is one of the few games still going on. Highland Park lost. Wakeland beat them 29-28.
Wow.
College Station wins 55-21. So you got 2 of the 4 into the regional semifinals. College Station and Frisco Wakeland are going to meet next week. Back to pass, Thomas looking for Hale. And caught? No, out of bounds.
Said he was juggling it as he went out.
He brought it in, but he didn't control it, and he got out of bounds.
Let's see if our angle can show us anything on it. It's going to be a tough angle here, but the ball gets there. Hale stays with it, and we really can't see if he's juggling it or not, but that's the call on the far side. Little surprised they decided to throw the ball. Thought they'd run a play and force the timeout there.
Yeah, they went for the home run. So it's 2nd down and goal now. 4:10 left.
You got to be quick here. You're under 10 seconds to go to get this play off.
Yeah, they're kind of lollygagging getting in. Now they get everybody in. They still got 2-1, and they snap it just in time. Thomas keeping it himself. Sheds 1 tackler, gets to the 25-yard line. Gain of about 3. Oh, we're going to get a late push there. There comes a flag. Corey Gibson got blocked out of bounds. It looked like maybe by Jamerson Derensburg. And he jumped back up and retaliated, and right in front of the official.
Yeah, and that's a personal foul, automatic first down, which if that is indeed the call, this one may be over.
Well, they stopped the clock at 3:59. Here comes a signal from the officials. Oh!
Wow.
Offset.
Politic much?
Offsetting penalties. They'll give them the 3 yards. The clock got to stop because of the penalties at 3:59 because Thomas was in bounds.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looked like obviously a live ball action on the part of the Lobo, the driving him out of bounds.
Yeah, right.
And a post, I'm not sure here, and you end up with a dead ball 2 times in a row.
Yep. Tatum in motion. We're going to hand it to him, sweeping left. Comes back middle of the field, gets to the 24 for a gain of just 1.
Well, I tell you what, Tigers are going to take a timeout, but they saved 2 timeouts there. 2 timeouts they got to save.
Well, that one comes at the 3:48 mark. So they've got 2 timeouts left. 24-14 still the score. It's going to be 4th down and goal from the 24-yard line. 41-yard field goal attempt if you're going to kick one from there. That would move the lead to 13. It forces, I guess, a point after try if nothing else. We've seen the Tigers go for it on a 4th and 26 and convert it. See what the Lobos are thinking about. Is this timeouts the first one for the Tigers?
Well, if it's a 1-point ball game, I think you kick the field goal. I mean, a 1-possession ball game, a 1-score ball game. They bring the kicker out here. Remember, you take a risk. If you miss a field goal, you can have it returned or blocked.
Yeah.
But
they put that timeout up there against the Lobos. I think Longview may have taken that one.
Wow.
And they are going to have a return man back in the end zone in case Fields comes up short. All right, so here we'll go. This is a 41-yard attempt. He's got enough leg to not make the return man relevant, and he makes it. From 41 yards away, Michael Fields with his 2nd field goal, and he makes it a 27-14 game with 3:44 left to play.
Well, that at least forces the Tigers to get 2 full touchdowns.
Right.
They can't get a touchdown and a field goal and tie it up.
Michael Fields with a couple of field goals tonight. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back to Longview Game Day.
And now at Orr, we want to buy your used vehicle and we'll give you guaranteed top dollar for yours. And if you prefer to trade, even better, with massive savings on every new vehicle at Orr Cadillac GMC in Longview.
All right, Michael Fields with a 41-yard field goal. It adds to the 38-yarder he hit early in this half. And the Lobos have a 27-14 lead with 3:44 left to play.
Here's if you're the Lobos, you got to be aware of reverses, anything fancy on a kickoff that might help the odds of the Tigers here.
See if Fields can get a full-on kickoff. This one drives the return man back to the 5-yard line. That's Martin gathering it at the 5, 15, and taken down before he got across the 15. Who else? Willie Nelson. It'll be at the 12-yard line where that's where the Tigers will start.
Once again, Willie Nelson shows why he's one of the premier sophomores, I think, in the entire state of Texas. He continues to make big plays, special teams, defense, you name it, he can do it. And that time, just a fantastic job of running his lane and making the tackle.
All right. 88 yards away. Tigers have 3:38 left.
Lobo's got too many people on the field.
Yeah, Devin Isaac didn't get off in time. Don't see a flag down. Toss out to the flat. That's caught by Broadway, who's taken out of bounds at the 1st down sticks at the 22-yard line.
Probably fortunate they're going to get a penalty late on somebody over there.
And John King's prowling up and down the sideline again.
Be interesting to see what happened at the end of that play that precipitated that penalty. You know, I thought at the first they were going to get a penalty on having too many men on the field. Let's see what the White Hats got to say to us.
I never saw what he said.
We got dead ball.
Yeah, lost his speaker. Oh, they're calling it the other direction. So Coach King was not happy, but maybe that was his happy prowl. I'm not sure which one that was, but it's going to be a penalty instead on the offense. So they'll mark it back to the 12-yard line. We're basically back where we started. And it's going to be 1st down and 10.
It looks like...
Which doesn't feel right. That probably should have been back further.
I don't know if we got a timeout here called by the Tigers.
We got all kinds of stuff going on. I think everybody's trying to sort it out, including us.
Well, even the officials look like they're having a team meeting to figure out what they're calling.
No idea. All I know is it's looking like it's going to be 1st down all over again, right back where they started at the 12-yard line.
Well, I think the coaches want to talk to one of the officials. They're waving their hands frantically.
Look at me.
And want some clarification.
Yeah, I'm here.
The white hat's going to come over and try to give him some clarification.
See if we can't pull some other scores while we're looking at all this going on. Okay, let's go to 4A for a minute because I think we've got some stuff that matters. In 4A Division I, Lindale, of course, lost. That was yesterday. About Argyle with a win, it looks like, over Kennedale, 27-3. Kilgore pulls out a 28-26 win over Stafford. All right, back to live action. 1st and 10. Quarterback rolling. Back, he's coming the other way. That's Drake Mayfield on the field. Fall comes out, scooped up by Shepard. And it looks like it's going to be Longview. Zarius Shepard in the right place at the right time. They poke the ball away from Glenn Rice, and Zarius Shepard scoops it up, and that takes it to the 12-yard line. Has been a popular place.
A lot going on the 12 tonight. And if you're staying the night in your Longview, you might go ahead and talk to the hotel about what possible accommodations you can make for next weekend.
Yeah, that's right. We're really not sure where things are going to be played next week, but it looks as though
it is not the blowout of a year ago, but nonetheless, it's beginning to look like a Lobo victory.
All right, 1st down, Longview. To the ground, they go right up the middle. And inside the 5 to about the 2 is Taylor Tatum. It'll be 1st and goal.
Just a straight handoff up the middle, running clock and running towards another score.
Yeah.
Well, if they punch this in, it's going to look like they handled upon Lancaster with ease, but that was not the case.
It was not the case today. Oh, you know, I tell you what, I'm looking at that. Was that Taylor or was that Jarrett?
That's high
socks up. It was Taylor? Yeah, okay. It's freaking me out for just a second because it sure looked like those high socks.
Well, with those gold socks, you just never know.
I know. 10-yard gain to the 2, 1st and goal from there. And we got more flags. And the Lobos get hit with it again.
Yeah, they milked a little too much clock off that time as they took the 25-second clock all the way down to the end, and it's going to be a delayed game. I think Coach King's going to call timeout and get everything reset over there on the Lobo sideline.
2:28 left in the game. This game began in the most bizarre way with a long drive, a 4th and 26 conversion, a goal line-ish inside red zone stand by the Lobo defense, and a missed field goal, all by Lancaster, and they held the ball for, 8 minutes almost. Lobos got the ball. 2 plays later, they're up 7-0 on a long touchdown run by Josh Thomas. They had a 10-0 lead. It was 10-7 at the half. Opening kick coming to the Lobos. They can't find a squibbing ball that goes through the middle of everybody. Fallen on by Lancaster at the 9. A play later, they score on a 9-yard touchdown pass to take the lead. And since then, Lobos have been on a 17-0 run to move this thing to a 27-14 lead.
And have a chance here to salt it away. It looks like they may have burnt the timeout before they got the penalty for too much time.
All right. Well, we'll try it again then. 1st down and goal at the 2-yard line. Lobos are showing 1 timeout left on the scoreboard. Thomas, the quarterback. He's going to roll to his left. Harris is lead blocker, and that's too easy. Scampers in from 2 yards away, and the Lobos have pretty much salted this thing away with a 33-14 lead and 2:23 left to play in the game.
Well, I mentioned it earlier in the half. When they get in that formation with Harris as the lone back, typically a passing formation with Harris as the blocker. That time it was a design run. Harris is still the blocker. He's got to do the dirty work. Thomas just prances into the end zone.
3 touchdowns for a 2nd straight week for Josh Thomas. 12 rushes, 132 yards, and 3 scores. Point after Michael Fields. 34-14 lead for Longview. Round 3 is in our future. We'll take a timeout. We're coming right back. The Longview Game Day.
Over the last 10 years, our office has achieved many record verdicts and settlements. Our commitment has always been to outwork and outfight any opponent we have in whatever courtroom we find ourselves in.
At Godarzi & Young, we have settlements and verdicts that are unmatched. Whether you come face to face with the corporation or the insurance company, they know that if they don't justly compensate our clients, they're going to have to face the Godarzi & Young trial team in the courtroom.
All right, welcome back. 2:23 left to play in the ball game, which right now the Lobos have taken command. Last year they went on a 40-0 run and won that game going away, beating Lancaster 56-20. It hasn't been 40-0, but it's been a 24-0 run since the first couple of minutes of the second half, and it's going to move the Lobos into their 9th win of the season and a chance to get a 10-win year for John King.
So you let him just kick away here.
You would think, and he does. And gathering it at the 10-yard line and not making the 20. Wow. Yeah, you start to walk and go, why are we kicking short? Here comes flags again. Willie Nelson getting into it.
Yeah,
with one of
needs to get out of there because if you get ejected, you don't get to play.
Right. That's actually not Willie. Excuse me. That was not Willie. That's 5, not 6. That's Jeremiah Braggs instead.
Well, Coach King and his staff quickly got out there to make sure whoever it was that type of behavior was not going to continue.
Let's see what we're going to get for this one. The ball was going to be stopped at around the 17-yard line.
Still have one official holding the spot down there.
But we're going to add, yeah, you kind of figure you're going to get probably offsetting unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. We've seen that be the MO of this officiating crew on a couple of these.
Head ball. Personal foul. Receiving team. Head ball.
There you go. One on each side.
Kicking team. Well,
yep. We'll go back to the 17-yard line.
Well, it's a opportunity for the Lobos to rush the passer just a couple of more minutes. They've seems like this whole fourth quarter they've been trying to chase down Glenn Rice.
For Longview, after having lost to McKinney North, this would be a 3rd consecutive victory. Lancaster's going to bookend their season. They started with a loss to Port Arthur Memorial, 27-7. Looks like they're going to end it with a loss. First down, quarterback back to pass. He'll swing this one over to a Wilson, who avoids one tackler but cannot avoid a second as he goes down. Devin Isaac over on the tackle at the 23-yard line, getting about 6.
As we look back at this one, Lancaster quality opponent. If they've got an Achilles, it may be their special teams, particularly their punting team.
Yeah.
Here in the second half, field position has been phenomenal for the Lobos, and a lot of it has to do with the inability of the Tigers to punt the football.
Well, it's a really good point. They had some good special teams plays that kept them in this game and a couple that lost it for them. And there's Shepard that's going to get credit for a sack back at the 17-yard line. That'll be his 6th of the year.
We've talked about it. We've seen this Lobo team all year. When they can just put their ears back and chase the quarterback, they can make it very difficult for any quarterback, even someone like Rice, who was looking so poised in the first half, now just looks beat down here late.
3rd down and 9, and I think they're going to take a timeout. Lancaster's going to take one with 1:25 left to play. And we're just going to stay here for the last little bit of this. And we'll go back to what you had said a little while ago. We don't know who they're playing yet. We have kind of heard already Friday night's going to be the game, or Friday sometime is going to be the game next week, so the day after Thanksgiving. We don't know when and we don't know what time, but we obviously don't know where or what time. And we don't know if we're going to be able to do it. We told you last week when we signed off, we kind of figured that one playoff game was going to be all we would be allowed. We got fortunate to get a second one. We got a call middle of the week telling us we could have a second playoff opportunity. This may be the site again next week, and we may not know until Tuesday or hopefully by Tuesday, if indeed we'll be allowed to call another one. So we'll keep you posted on that. We'll let the folks for the school district and for Longview football and all know what's going on as soon as we know, so we can get the word back out again. And hopefully we're getting to maybe get one more playoff game in here. Now we're playing with house money every time we get another one.
One would not guess that Longview would want to go to the Star to play Denton like they did in week 1.
No. Here we go on the third down pass play, caught by Faulkner, and he steps out of bounds, stopping the clock at the 29-yard line. That's enough for the first down with 1:19 left.
Well, if you're Longview, you're a little concerned about Billy Smith, who went out early in this game. I have not seen him return. Of course, you don't want anybody else to get hurt here late. Once again, Isaacs rushing the passer from the end position.
Yep, here he comes. Pass on the way. That one's thrown out of bounds wide of Faulkner to make it a second down and 10. Rice on the day, he has struggled throwing the football today. He's 13 of 25, 118 yards only, and 2 interceptions go along with his 1 touchdown. Interceptions for Willie Nelson, his 8th of the year, and Darian Boone got 1, both of those in the second half. A team that had 7 interceptions the last 2 games adds 2 more to that total. And it's second down and 10 at the 29-yard line. Rice back to pass, setting up the screen. Faulkner will catch it at the 28, and he's going to run through 1 tackle. He's not going to run through the last of them, as they'll take him out of bounds. Big hit at the end of that, Chase Smith. It'll be a first down at the 40-yard line.
As you said, took a little bit, but they eventually got the first down. Now, if they run that screen 2 or 3 times tonight to try and combat this pass rush of the Lobos that they've been facing all night, and so that's really all you can do. In the first half, they were using the quarterback, taking off with some quarterback draws. That hasn't been available in the second half due to the fact that Boone's kind of been in charge of taking care of the quarterback.
First down now, 30-point margin at 34-14. Clock's still got a minute 2 on it. I know we can't show you a play clock or game clock on the road, but that's how much time's left.
Run out on the play clock. They're going to take a timeout.
So Lancaster will take another of their timeouts. They're going to end their season with a 10-2 record. Lobos now will go to 9-3. And again, we've got 1 8-win season in John King's 18 years at Longview. That happened back in 2016. So a couple of weeks ago, we said, well, we got to get at least 8 because he's never had a year less than 8. Well, now he's got more than 8. He's going to have 9 with the possibility of a revenge game maybe against Denton Ryan if Denton Ryan takes care of business tomorrow, and a chance to knock off the #1 team in the state and beat them in week 1 of this season.
You talked about the possibility of Lancaster maybe being put in the district, Longview. If you look at this team, a lot of seniors in important positions for the Tigers. We'll talk about that after this play.
Yeah, no question. Back to pass Rice, looking middle of the field. That one caught by Wilson, and he's running away from a couple of guys and smothered at about the 40-yard line on the Longview side of the field. It's a first down at the 38.
Wilson, senior. Glenn Rice, quarterback, a senior. Sykes, the big defensive end, a senior. Broadway, the running back, a senior. Gort, the big defensive lineman, a senior.
Yeah, they've got seniors all over the place. Wilson in some trouble, rolling. Gets away from one defender. They're still chasing him, and they'll run him out of bounds at the 30-yard line. A lot of running that time for the Lobos, who couldn't quite catch up to him. As giving chase was Iselin Taylor, who's in the game.
But if it is a circumstance where these two find each other again next season, it is definitely going to be a new cast of characters for a very good Tigers football team.
All right, so it's a second down and a yard. Rice back to pass, in trouble. He's going to get sacked back at the 42-yard line. How about the big game for Darian Boone? A sack, he's got an interception, he's been all over the field, and his team's probably going to have to maybe see one more play in this area-round playoff game against Lancaster.
That time they just let Boone go and let him blitz, and he came completely unchecked.
And with 2-1, they won't even get a snap off, and that'll finish it. 34-14. The Lobos get the win. They go to 9-3, and they're resilient, and they hang around, and they got themselves a win today over a pretty game Lancaster team. Came into this game as a number 10 team in the state in 5A Division I, and they will leave here with their second loss of the year as a Lobos advance.
Well, I believe your exact words was the second half started about as bad as it possibly could for the Lobos. They did not let them deter them. They turned it around, got it going here in the second half, and put away a really good Tigers football team.
Yep. Finishing this thing up, Lancaster 16 first down. Lobos had only 12, but they got big plays and short fields. 28 rushes, 215 yards on the ground for the Lobos. They were 9 of 16 throwing the football for 126 yards. Quick math gives me 341 yards of offense. Lancaster 16 first downs, 30 rushes, just 83 yards on the ground, less than a 3-yard average. They were 15 of 27 throwing the football for 151 yards. That's total offense of 234 yards.
By the way, our friends up in Texarkana won the Battle of Texas tonight. Texas High defeats Texas City 31-0.
And again, the big upset, I say. Highland Park losing to Frisco Wakeland 29-28, which means Wakeland gets College Station next week in the regional semifinals. And one of those two is going to make their way to the regional finals week after next. Let's see, leading the charge tonight for Longview. Let me get where I need to go. Josh Thomas, 12 carries, 132 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Taylor Tatum, 13 carries on the ground for 80 yards. Isaiah Harris had 3 rushes for 3 yards. Josh Thomas, 9 of 16, 126 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. And, of course, Jalen Hale, 5 catches, 96 yards, and a score. Marion Hamilton had 2 for 17. Harris, 1 for 7. Jartavian Wright, 1 for 6. Let's see, superlatives then. Another interception, Willie Nelson. Jalen Hale, over 1,000 yards receiving for the year. Josh Thomas for a second straight day with 3 rushing touchdowns. That gives him 11 on the year. And again, throwing the ball today with no interceptions, and the Lobos had no actual turnovers other than the muffed kickoff. The offense did not commit any turnovers today at all. All in all, it's just been this kind of year Lobo victory. Wasn't always pretty, but they gut their way through it, and they finish with a W, and they move on.
Well, and once again, I feel like they're playing their best football at the perfect time of year.
On the other side for Lancaster, Rice had 18 carries, 57 yards. Broadway, 11 carries, 28 yards. Rice was 15 of 27 for 151, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. And they held Faison Wilson, 4 carries, 4 receptions, 52 yards, and 1 touchdown.
I figured we'd get a request for some Willie Nelson music. Our producer Frank wants Lee Greenwood, but neither one of us can carry a tune, so you guys at home, get on your Apple Music and play God Bless the USA for yourself.
Indeed. All right, we're done for tonight. I want to thank Frank Seitz and the crew who brought you all of the camera work. We just do the talking, they actually do the hard work. We want to thank them so much for making this one another W for the Lobos. Again, we don't know what's happening next week. We know the Lobos will play on Friday. We'll know more in another day or two. Hopefully we'll be able to call a game for you next Friday as well. Have a great Thanksgiving. If we don't get to talk to you again, have a great holiday, and thank you so much for being with us this year and letting us be with you. If we do get to have another one, have a great Thanksgiving anyway, and don't eat too much, and be ready to catch up some more Longview football next Friday, hopefully here on Longview Game Day. For Tony Kirk, I'm Chuck Zach. You've been listening to a presentation of Longview Lobo Sports on the streaming home of the Lobos for Longview Game Day. You guys take care and